years as an official partner of your Minnesota Wild, Bryant will donate $25 for every goal the Wild score this season to the Minnesota Wild Foundation and its Skate It Forward initiative. Skate It Forward helps grow community hockey by making it easier for first-time players to hit the ice, with the ultimate goal of making the first year of ice time free for every young skater in Minnesota. Together, we'll skate it forward. Let's go Wild. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild, whatever it takes.
There shouldn't be excuses for us, We are trying to play our best game every night. It's not like, we come in and want to play, but something's working well, and we have to work on staying on the same program for all 60 minutes.
Vladimir Tarasenko following Saturday's loss in Philly. A much better effort against the Flyers, but another loss nonetheless. Kevin Fallness in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center as we get ready for stop number 4 on the 5-game road trip with the Wild in New York to face the Rangers. Here are your news and notes. Yes, the Wild were in Philly on Saturday and actually struck first.
The Wild come up with this puck. Johansson trying to force one of the points. Tarasenko batted it out of midair. Took a long shot. It never got through. Rossi able to handle it. Center. Tarasenko scores! Vladimir Tarasenko with his first goal in a Wild sweater. He rockets it upstairs, and the Wild have a 1-0 lead.
Early in the second, the Wild take the 1-0 lead, and that was your score after 40 minutes of play. Flyers tied it in the third, however, and then won it in overtime. That's 3 straight losses for the Wild to open the road trip as they fall to 2-3-1 to start the season. John Hines, though, liked the response against the Flyers compared to a not-so-great night 24 hours earlier on Friday in D.C.
I thought we moved the puck better, played a little bit quicker, I still think. And we talked about it yesterday and today, just about, playing a little bit faster, coming out of our own end, and then in the neutral zone, where when we're playing our best hockey, where we can lean on teams a little bit more, we can play a quicker game, good support, a little bit more predictable in how we want to play, and then, we can put some teams under duress and control some territory for longer periods of time.
So now the Wild are in New York to face the Rangers, and tell me if you've heard this before. Once again, the Wild are banged up. Defenseman Zach Bogosian will miss a second straight game, and now we find out center Marco Rossi will also be sidelined tonight after blocking a shot on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. I think hopefully it should be day to day. I just think with the quick turnarounds and things like that are difficult for him. But I know when a guy like him says he can't play, then you know that there's something really bothering him.
Rossi had the Wild's Ironman streak going, but that'll be stopped at 173 consecutive games. That pushes Jularic's neck to the top line to play with Kaprizov and Boldy. Ryan Hartman will center Johansson and Tarasenko. Danila Yurov moves to the third line to center Foligno and Hinostroza. And on the fourth line, Ben Jones makes his season debut with Trenyan and Pitlick.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to kind of stick to my game. I'm, trust him here for a reason. I feel like I got some good experience last year and know the guys a little bit better than coming in last year kind of for the first time. So just looking to kind of do what I do and try and help the team win tonight.
Ben Jones got 26 games with the Wild last season, still looking for his first NHL point. Last year with Iowa, though, 36 points in 49 games. They'll be up against a Rangers team that's coming off a 5-4 win in Montreal. That stopped a 3-game losing streak. They've also opened the season with 3 straight shutout losses on home ice, the first team in NHL history to accomplish that. Those are some news and notes heading into this one. Up next, Tom Reed from MSG. This is Wild Hockey presented by Grand Casino.
If it's happening in baseball,
the Dodgers are going back to the World Series.
It's on MLB Network Radio.
Dave Roberts getting ready to celebrate.
We enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. So still a lot of work to be done. Let's just do something special.
We're down here with Mookie Betts.
We'll get to celebrate tonight, and it's just this is the reason why we play the game.
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app. Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong. Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan. And
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with a group. And thus, I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change. And we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
I know Mike. I know Mike's a process guy. I know that they're working at it. I think that they have scoring chances. They've had looks. So I don't really look into them. I think they're a dangerous offensive team. They play with good structure. They got really good players. So, I think from that standpoint, they'll be fine.
John Hines on his buddy and the head coach of the New York Rangers, Mike Sullivan, both Sullivan and Hines, desperate for some success tonight at Madison Square Garden. That's where Tom Reed is. Tough weekend, Tom. Routed in D.C. on Friday, but it seemed like a much better game on Saturday in Philly, despite the overtime loss. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a better game. There's no question about it. They were a little bit better, but they have to play much better also, Kevin. Last year they had a good start to the season, but this year has not gone the way they would like. And, of course, injuries are a big part of that. And not having, as you pointed out just a few moments ago, two more players out of the lineup with Bogosian, and you look at the guy in the middle, which you really like to have in your squad at a place like this, Marco Rossi, going to also be out of the lineup. So those are big pieces of the puzzle. I talked to John Hines earlier today, and he was telling me that we're missing some guys. He said there's no question about it. It certainly has hurt our structure here a little bit, but hopefully they can find a way to turn this thing around.
Well, they should be used to it, especially when you consider what they went through last season. But that's another significant piece here for the Wild. Dealing without Marco Rossi, that's not something they've had to do very much of because he was owning that Ironman streak.
Yeah, and you're right. He's been very good. I mean, he had a negotiation with his contract. Didn't go as smoothly as he had hoped, but that's way behind him. He did sign a nice contract with his hockey club, and hopefully the 3 years will bode well for him. But they'll miss his presence. Certainly he's a tenacious type of a player, plays hard in the offensive zone, gets in there, makes some good things happen. But not having him in the lineup, all of a sudden somebody comes out, somebody gets a chance to go in.
Yeah, well, so Jules Eriksson will replace him on the top line. Ryan Hartman will move to the second line. Danila Yurov gets elevated in the lineup. We'll center that third line. And in comes Ben Jones to center the fourth line. You got a chance to see him a little bit last season. What do you like about Ben Jones' game?
Well, he's got to get some production. That's the problem with him right now. You look at Iowa, he played in 2 games and they had 2 assists. A point a game, that's pretty good. But last year with the Wild, he played 26 games, didn't have a point in all of those 26 games. He did well down in Iowa. And there are some players who are better off suited, in the minors. But they want to play in the big leagues. But if you want to play in the big leagues, you got to be able to produce in the big leagues. And that's one area. Nice guy, great to be around. But hopefully he can get some offense going here tonight.
Yeah, should get some very valuable minutes for the Wild tonight as they go into New York to face a Rangers team that obviously the Wild are having their troubles on the road, Tom. Who'd have thunk? The Blue Shirts are having troubles at home. They haven't scored at MSG in 180 minutes of regular season hockey this year.
Yeah, amazing. 3 games, and they have not picked up a point yet at home. They can't score goals, and if you can't score goals, it's going to be hard to win hockey games. So I'm sure that's going to change here. Just hope it doesn't change here tonight.
That's Tom Reed out there at Madison Square Garden. When we continue, we'll get you tonight's starting goaltenders, Wild and Rangers from New York. This is Wild Hockey presented by Grand Casino.
Straight Shooter with Stephen A.
This is Stephen A. Smith, and I've got something to say. We're talking politics, power, and the real issues that shape our lives. I want to make sure I position myself to be one of those voices that America wants to hear on these matters. I'll be open to being educated, corrected when I'm wrong, but I anticipate those moments to be few and far between.
Straight Shooter with Stephen A. Wednesday, 6 p.m. East on POTUS Channel 124 and on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles for the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
It was important. Like I said, I think we still played a really good game, even though some guys goes down. We ended up on the PK for a bit, and we don't stress. We stick to our structure, and we know what we're supposed to do, and I think we did most of that.
Jesper Volstead suffered the overtime loss on Saturday night to the Flyers despite 19 saves. Who goes tonight against the Blue Shirts? For that information, Tom Reed delivers it from Madison Square Garden. The starting goaltenders are presented by Progressive Insurance. Tom, who goes tonight for Minnesota?
Well, the man they call Gus, Philip Gustafsson, will get the call on this one, Kevin. You look at the 4 games he's played, he's won just one of those with a 3.56 goals against average, and that does not sit well with him. Last year, if you look at the games he played, his average was 2.56. That's a full goal, and that means a lot. And Minnesota has got to find a way to help him also. It's not just him with the problem. Defensively, this team has got to be better, and it starts with the goaltending, but the guys in front have to play much better than they have in front of them.
The Gus Bus for Minnesota. Who goes for the Rangers?
Igor Shesterkin is going to get the call on this one now in his 7th year here, all with the New York Rangers. In 5 games, he's gone 2-2-1 with a 1.00 goals against average and a save percentage of over 96%, 96.2. He's only given up 5 goals in those 5 games he has played. He's the guy they feel is going to be the guy that's going to lead them into the playoffs again.
Those are your starting goaltenders. Lots of memories of playing in New York. You were saying before we went on the air, that's where you made your NHL debut, at the old Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. That was back in the 67-68 season. I played here in November of 67, and this building here, Madison Square Garden, opened up in January of 1968, so I missed that. That was just that first game. I remember some things about it. I don't remember the building at all, but I do remember my first blocked shot was against Boom Boom Jeffrey, who hit me in the ankle, and I thought he broke the ankle. But I survived that game and went on to play a few more.
All right, well, hopefully new memories tonight, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Reed in New York tells us it's the Gus Bus against Igor. Starting goaltenders are presented by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. It's the Wild and Rangers coming up from New York. Where would you rather be on a Monday night? This is Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Now through October 31st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues. To be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 in the SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB Postseason Heroes 2025. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 19th. Just be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Be savored responsibly.
Centers.
Hockey comes alive.
Pedersen scores.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Minnesota Wild, the National Hockey League, and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
New York state of mind. A trip to the Big Apple, a great place to sightsee, get some culture, maybe even grab a great slice of pizza. Yeah, New York is great for a lot of things, but isn't always the easiest place to bring a hockey team to make themselves feel better. But after 3 straight losses to open the road trip, the Wild have no choice.
It's moved to Forster, a 3-on-2. Fresh off the bench, Kaprizov trying to get back. Cates through the slot, has a lane, he scores. Noah Cates wins it for Philadelphia. Flyers prevail 2-1 in overtime.
That was Saturday Saturday night in Philly. They get a point, but lose for the third straight time. And now, Ben Jones and a shorthanded Minnesota Wild are at the world's most famous arena looking for their first road win since opening night.
Yeah, super exciting. It's kind of something that you always dream of, is trying to play in front of fans at MSG and get the opportunity to do that tonight. So looking forward to kind of soaking it all in. And but obviously, you can't be too distracted by it. Obviously, enjoy the moment, but at the end of the day, you got to win hockey.
It's the Wild and Rangers from New York, and now from Madison Square Garden, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
New York state of mind. And thank you very much, Kevin Fulness. Good evening, State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to Madison Square Garden here in New York City, where tonight the Wild play Game 4 of a 5-game road trip as they take on the New York Rangers. Glad to have you along, and welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed here with you. Still very early in this NHL season, but both these teams kind of desperate to get more consistent footing with their identity, with their style of play, and, of course, in the standings column as well. The Wild are 2-3-1 on the year. The Rangers are 3-3-1. And, Tom, for Minnesota, do you sense the need or some urgency, desperation in their game that might be needed here tonight to get back in the win column after going winless in 3?
Yeah, I think there's urgency on both sides of that red line, to be honest with you, Joe. You look at Minnesota, they've got to get back into the fact that they can win hockey games. Right now, remember last year they went, 7-1-2 in their first 10 games. And they're not sitting pretty right now. They've got to find a way to get goals. On the other hand, you look at the New York Rangers, here's a team that's played 3 games in this building. They haven't scored a goal yet in the 3 games. But they've given up 6, and that does not sit well with them. So we'll see what happens here tonight. I hope they go 4 games without a goal.
Me too. That is an NHL record, by the way. 3 straight games to start a season at home without finding the back of the net. How much pressure is on the Rangers, particularly early in this now, their 4th home game, to find something offensively?
Yeah, there's pressure on them too, and they realize it. They know that Minnesota's off to a tough stretch, and they know Minnesota's hurting right now too, also with injuries, and that's a big part of the success of the Rangers that they've had in the upcoming previous years. They've been able to counter that and make some good things happen, get some goals, but right now they're not scoring goals, so the pressure's on them as well to get goals. Minnesota is to stop goals and get some goals of their own.
The Wild Saturday night in Philadelphia had a 1-0 lead after 40 minutes of play. Ended up falling in overtime 2-1, just 16 shots in that hockey game for Minnesota. Saturday night in Montreal, the Rangers rallied. They trailed 2-0 less than 4 minutes in. Eventually won, getting 3 goals in the third period and beating the Canadiens 4-3. 22 shots on net for the Rangers in that hockey game. Last year's season series, both overtime games between these two teams. In fact, 7 of the last 10 between these sides have been 1-goal affairs. The puck drops next from MSG. It's the Wild and the Rangers. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Not far away, but nothing close to ordinary. Grand Casino is right here, ready to surprise you with the ultimate staycation. With big games, better rewards, beautiful hotels, and entertainment catered to you. The thrills just never let up. So make the trip and feel it for yourself. Every mile leads to more at Grand Casino.
Know what the happiest bird is? Chicken. Cub fried chicken. Wait, let me rephrase that. Know what bird makes people happiest? Cub fried chicken. Crispy, crunchy, juicy, perfectly seasoned. It's the kind of chicken that disappears faster than you can say, 8 piece, please. Or, let's be real, maybe 12 piece. Because when it comes to fried chicken, more just means more happy. So if you're shopping chicken, shop Cub fried chicken and shop happy.
Xcel Energy's Home Energy Squad experts love helping you save energy. It makes their day to weather strip a door. Setting up a new smart thermostat is real high-five material. They have dreams about upgrading your light bulbs to LEDs. And installing a more efficient shower head is actually one of their love languages. Let the experts who love to help you save energy help you save money. Make an appointment at excelenergy.com/squad with free installation of eligible energy-saving equipment.
Going on vacation? We're here for it. With kids who turn the back seat into a courtroom drama over whose tablet is louder, whose charger is faster, and why watching the same cartoon for the 100th time is a human right? Yep, we totally have vehicles to handle that. Because whether it's a road trip or a business trip, where your flight's delayed, your phone's at 2%, and your dinner, whatever's open, yeah, here for that too. Enterprise, we're here for it.
Hey Wild fans, this is Kirill Kaprizov.
Hurry one in front of this guy! It's Kaprizov! And a huge goal for the Wild!
It's time to drop the puck, so let's play hockey.
Minnesota Wild Hockey is presented in part by Grand Casino, where Minnesota comes to play. Excel Energy, proud to power the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy. Pentair, the official sustainable water partner of the Minnesota Wild. Acroshore, official sponsor of the Minnesota Wild podcast. And by Tria Orthopedics. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things.
He scores! Kaprizov drills one home right on cue!
And now, live from the arena, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Back here at Madison Square Garden, Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you, ready to roll the Wild and the Rangers. It's Philip Gustafson in net for Minnesota. Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers. 5 games played for Shesterkin, 5 total goals against. Jonathan Quick got the win for New York Saturday night in Montreal.
And good time of the year to come here also, Joe. The fact that we don't have to smell the animals in the circus when it comes to town, which is nice. But it's a great city to visit, no question about it. You talk about a busy city. Every intersection you come to is filled with people. There's a lot of activity going around, and just fun to be here, especially at Christmas time. We were here a couple of years ago at Christmas time, and it took us 2 hours to go about 12 miles with the traffic coming here to see all the festivities taking place.
We are underway in the opening period. Rangers with a quick shot that's blocked by Brodin. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial in the opening period. Tonight, wearing their white jerseys. The Rangers in their blue uniform skating from right to left in the first. Again, no Marco Rossi. Played in every game over the last 2 seasons for Minnesota. And every game to start this year, he's out. John Hines sort of saying day-to-day lower body. Zach Bogosian missing his second straight game as Boldy throws one in front. Shesterkin deep in his net. Able to find it. There's a couple of bodies in that blue paint area. Now Eriksson Ek and JT Miller are grappling with one another. 33 seconds in. Our first whistle, no score.
Yeah, and I would expect the Rangers to come out very strong. They know Minnesota is struggling. They know they also realize that Minnesota has got a number of injured players on the roster right now. They're not in the lineup, unfortunately. And with that means that they want to get a quick start here. They want to get that first goal and try and take Minnesota out of early. That's what Minnesota has to guard against. At the same time, try and get something going offensively at the opposite end.
Well, looking back at that replay, Tom, on the video board here, Eriksson Ek kind of got almost slew-footed in the blue paint as he was waiting for that Boldy shot to filter through from the left to Shesterkin. And he went hard down onto the ice. Urov, Johansson, Tarasenko, Spurgeon, and Bouillon for Minnesota. Again, with no Rossi. More ice time, more opportunity for Danila Urov, whose game's starting to come a little bit here, as he's a handful of games into his NHL career.
Yeah, I think you're going to like him once he gets acclimated to this ice surface. Also, smaller ice surface than when he's used to. In the Olympic size, it was just 200 by 100. This one's 200 by 85, and that's a big difference.
Well, Borgen sent a shot through, and now the Rangers score. Artemi Panarin wide open in front. He had 4 points Saturday, and the Rangers finally get their first goal at home as he beats Gustafson glove side. Not a good start for Minnesota, 57 seconds in.
Boy, you're absolutely right. That started so far. We knew that the Rangers would come out very strong at the beginning, and that's exactly what they did. talking about Panarin is, just get the puck to the front of the net. You don't know what's going to happen when you get that play. And Panarin was behind the net, circled back in front, took that pass in the forehand, and just one time that puts it by the goaltender. And with that, the Rangers have taken the lead 1-0. Their first goal of the season in this building.
Second goal and 7th point for Artemi Panarin. Again, 4 of them coming Saturday in Montreal. His 17th 4-point game of the Rangers. Tom, I want to go back to that earlier sequence, though. Will Borgen, the Moorhead, Minnesota native, carried the puck into the Wild zone. The Rangers defenseman, kind of a little nothing snapshot from the left of Gustafsson coming down that right wing wall. Gustafsson didn't catch it. It clanged off his glove, went behind the net. Seconds later, Panarin scores.
Yeah, and so often, Joe, you look at these little plays that take place, you think they don't mean anything, but all of a sudden something materializes out of it, and you have to be ready for those situations, too. But unfortunately, Minnesota trails in this game right away at 1-0.
Spurgeon right point, offensive zone, feathers it down low. It'll roll around the end wall. Big line out here for the Rangers with Sam Carrick, Adam Edstrom, and big Matt Rempe. As Spurgeon right circle a shot. At the flex to the right of Shesterkin. He lost sight of it to the netminder. Hinostroza out on the point. Bouillon a little shake and go move. He'll wheel right wing side. Z Bouillon activates. Bouillon buying some real estate. Centered out in front. And the Rangers jab that away from trouble. And all the way down. They're going to wave off ice. So just over 2 minutes gone by in the opening period. From deep in his own zone, Jake Middleton launches one off the glass left side. It bounces around. It's grabbed by Tyler Pitlick. Pitlick, a former Ranger. Each of his first 2 games with Minnesota for Pitlick against teams he used to play for. Philadelphia on Saturday and here against the Rangers tonight. In fact, prior to his Wild debut on Saturday, Pitlick's last NHL game came with the Rangers on February 29th of 2024. Had 21 goals last year in the American Hockey League. Islava a little backhander and tight. Gustafsson poked that away from trouble. And picking it up deep in his own zone, Jake Middleton able to bank it along for David Jiricek. Jiricek and Middleton play catches. Both teams change up their forwards. Middleton now picks his head up, smacks it along off the right wing dasher. Kaprizov got a piece of it, ends up deep in the Ranger zone. Lafreniere, the former first overall pick, to JT Miller, his second stint with New York. They got him from the Canucks late last season. Matt Boldy now for Minnesota, speeding into the offensive zone. He's checked in the corner by Borgen. Boldy able to sweep it around. Faber pinched in to keep the Wild in business. Now Boldy trying to come out from behind the net. Handed along to Kaprizov. Bank to the left point for Brodin. He'll go D to D. Faber slams it down low. This is what the Wild want to do a lot of in this hockey game, Tom. Get their defense activated, climb the wall in the offensive zone, and certainly, as John Hines like to call it, skate on first touch. When you get the puck, get moving. Don't be stationary.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Otherwise, your pocket's going to be picked in a hurry, especially with the Rangers right now. They're playing with a lot of gumption, and there's no question that that shot comes to Shesterkin. He grabs onto it. That'll get the stoppage of play, and the faceoff, I believe, will be to his right. But you get those little things that happen also, Joe, in the course of a game. You think they don't mean much, but all of a sudden develop into something that you're not quite prepared for. And Minnesota just wasn't ready at the beginning. And it wasn't a great goal also going in there. And you got to look at the goaltender, too. When a goaltender gives up an early goal like that and he's thinking about it, all of a sudden you wonder, how is he going to play the rest of the game? But Gus, hopefully he's got enough experience that he can step up here and make something good happen. But Minnesota's good. Has to get some more shots. They've actually outshot the Rangers 4-3 at this point in the game.
Well, that's encouraging because over the previous 2 games, just 30 total shots for Minnesota. In a 2-game span, the 30 combined shots, the fewest in the NHL over the last 5 seasons. And the 3rd fewest in Wild history in a 2-game span, as Spurgeon couldn't keep the blue line. This play is offside with 16:04 to go in the first. And the Wild trailing 1-0.
And attention to our season ticket members, once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long. So get ready to earn some bonus Forever Wild reward points. Enter the code BOLDY. That's BOLDY to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow. What a start Boldy's had on this year also. You look at number 12, 4. Five assists, 23 shots coming into this game. And those games that he has played, so he's done exactly what he has to do.
Should clarify, tied for the lowest 2-game shot total combined over the last 5 years across the NHL. That 30 total shots over the last 2 games for Minnesota. Panarin squeezes one to Adam Fox, the right point shot, ricochets around. Zibanejad trying to find it. Hartman had him bottled up. Skating to it though, Panarin twisting and trying to shake away from Bouillon. Bouillon defends him well and blocking a pass and getting it out to center is Vladimir Tarasenko, the former Ranger, who got his first goal with Minnesota Saturday in Philadelphia. Tarasenko now the 4th active player with goals for 6 different teams over a 4-year span. Yes, he's bounced around a lot, but he continues to know how to find the back of the net.
Yeah, you got to like him. The way he's played for Minnesota coming out of Detroit last year was not a banner year for him. The team wasn't good, and I think that mentally that probably affected his game, but he has come to play this year for Minnesota.
Faber shoved one to the neutral zone. Marcus Foligno tries to cruise it along. Hinostroza taps off, and Yurov will punch it in. Danila Yurov won a battle right wing corner, worked it up top. Faber, a long shot is caught by Shesterkin.
Yeah, good shot by Faber coming from that right point position, also being a right-handed shot. And he's one of the guys that really has to step up for Minnesota. He's had a little bit of a slow start here. You expect more from him. Last year, 10 goals, 19 assists, but right now, no points, and he's a -5 on the season. And you think when you're a young kid coming in, you know, that first year, people don't know you a lot about you. The second year, they understand a little bit more. When you get to the third year, they have a pretty good read on what type of a player you are and what buttons to push to play against them.
Here's a chance for Brodin, left side. He scores! Jonas Brodin, for the 2nd straight game, is on the score sheet for the Wild. He had a helper Saturday. He's got his first goal of the season here, and Minnesota needing some offense from their blue line gets just that with 5:10 gone by in the first to tie this game at 1.
Yeah, and the thing is with Brodin, of course, he's playing a little bit of an injury now, but, you know, he wanted to play. He gets in the lineup, and he's one of those guys that does well. Good wrist shot coming in there is on the left side there. And the thing is, Joe, Minnesota wins the draw. You win the draw, and all of a sudden you've got opportunity to get something going offensively, and that's exactly what they've done here. But Minnesota gave up the first goal. They've tied this one up, and that's their 6th shot in this hockey game already. They've given up just 2. One of those lived with the goaltender, but Minnesota has tied up the game.
You know, a couple of minutes back, I was going to say it's been a pretty good start outside of the goal against. Not that you want to just shake off the fact that the Rangers got an early one, but the Wild are doing what they hope to do, which is spend time in the offensive zone. We're talking with John Hines this morning. Here's the call.
Number 25, Jonas Brodin. The assist to number 12, Matt Boldy, and number 14, Joel Eriksson Ek. Time of the goal, 5:10.
So Boldy now with points in all but one game this season. He was held off the score sheet against the Flyers Saturday. First time in his career he didn't find the score sheet against Philadelphia. As Tyler Pitlick blocks a long shot and is able to knife it out to center. John Hines this morning saying that these two teams, the Wild and the Rangers, they play the exact same way. And probably shouldn't be much of a shock given the relationship between the two head coaches. Mike Sullivan now here with the Rangers is to a loose puck here, a check right wing wall, fired one in front, not much behind it. It's batted away, and JT Miller squeezes it along to Vladislav Gavrikov. Gavrikov, a July 1st signing by New York, head man. Nothing there for the Rangers. It's Middleton now to punch it up left side. Kaprizov got wrestled down, tried to force it to Boldy, and this play is offside. More on the similarities between these two sides and the connection between the two coaches when we come back to Madison Square Garden. It's 1-1, still early in the first. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
It's time to get hyped for the NBA season on Sirius XM. From the Knicks looking to take control of the East.
The clutch player of the year will not be denied. Jalen Brunson puts the Knicks in front.
To Cooper Flagg's debut in Dallas.
Welcome to the league, Cooper Flagg.
And the Thunder defending its title.
Behind the board, knocks down an 8-foot jumper. SGA has come to play tonight, baby.
You'll hear every game on your radio and the hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
Under review. And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that
Outlet for Gavrikov. He'll toss one wide of the net. As the Rangers look to set up their forecheck. Wild move the puck up the near wall.
Rister blocked out in front by Connor Sherry. Now Boldy knocked the puck down out of midair right through the Rangers slot, but New York able to tip it free, and Lafreniere guides it ahead. Spurgeon races back to pick it up, spins in his left wing corner, backhanded it along. It'll leak down the ice. Icing waved off because Boldy and Lafreniere had come together right near the puck, and so New York has to hustle back. Kaprizov on the pressure up ice as JT Miller slides it to Fox, back across his own slot to the left circle. Gavrikov deals it again to Fox. Both teams finishing a change. Gavrikov now in the neutral zone, just flops one into the right of Gustafsson. Brock Faber is back, reversed it right side. Hinostroza tied up his man, allowing Ryan Hartman to pick up the puck. Hartman gains the red line, found the weak side deep. Brodin, who has the wild goal. He'll take a shot. Stick save by Shesterkin. Back behind the net, Marcus Foligno found the rebound. Got it to Hinostroza. Tried to drive one to the point for Faber. That's cut off, and Mika Zibanejad dances the other way for New York before twisting it in. Bouncing puck in the Wild slot. Held in now at the blue line. Borgen tried to give and go there with Will Cooley, and that explodes back into the Ranger zone. Shesterkin out to handle it with Hartman buzzing into pressure the goaltender.
Yeah, Cooley was not expecting that shot. He wasn't ready for it. That pass coming back to him.
Tip in now by Sam Carrick. Out with his goal stick comes Gustafsson. Juracek was bumped and thrown down to the ice by Carrick, who fought Arbor Xhekaj of the Canadians on Saturday. Carrick watched carefully by Urov. It comes to the point for Carson Soucy, the former Wild draft pick, and then a right point shot never got through to Philip Gustafsson off the stick of Braden Schneider. Schneider had the overtime winner when these two sides met in St. Paul in April. Here's Tarasenko for the Wild, racing along. And now it's Marcus Johansson getting thrown to the ice as he worked on the point. Middleton a drive, kick save Shesterkin. Juracek followed up, but his drive went well wide. Getting to it for Minnesota's Johansson. He fanned on his pass, however. And it's skated along out the center ice by Adam Edstrom, the 6'7", 232-pound forward.
There's some big boys in this squad.
They do. I was talking about that line briefly earlier. You have Edstrom at 6'7". You have Rempe at 6'9". And Sam Carrick, as I mentioned, fought Arbor Xhekaj the other night. So, yeah, he's a pretty tough customer as well. Doesn't have the size of those guys, but not afraid to mix it up. In the slot, a loose puck for the Wild. Chiseled high and wide by Pitlick. That was a bouncing puck in a good scoring area. Spurgeon now right point shot is blocked. He'll regather. Flipped it around the end wall. Trying to speed to it. Ben Jones in his Minnesota season debut. 26 games last year for Jones with the big club. No points. In the offensive zone, Yakov Trenyan being worked over by Laba. Holding in at the blue line right side, Faber. Again, more offensive zone time here for Minnesota as Eriksson Ek goes to work now. Eriksson Ek up near the hash marks. Found Boldy through the slot. Wrister knocked down in front. Out of midair, Trenyan batted it wide. Boldy's on it again. Left wing wall. Fired a shot. A side angle try. Shesterkin made the save. Rebound not cleared. Swatting at it, Boldy. Grabbing it, Borgen. Boldy picked his pocket. Boldy back in the net. Jammed one up the short side post. It ricocheted around. And Shesterkin was looking to his left. The puck was down to his right, but the Rangers scaled ahead.
Yeah, Rangers kind of standing around, and Minnesota's really moving their feet very well. And as a result of that, they're getting chances.
Faber had his pass stolen by JT Miller. Races in the Wild zone. Late help coming was Sherry. He collided with Kaprizov. Didn't handle that pass cleanly. And right wing boards Boldy. Just banks it ahead and all the way down. Icing waved off. Shesterkin with his goal stick. Lost it to Kaprizov. Back in the net. Kaprizov finding Boldy. He'll pivot right side. Dropped it off. Faber a drive. Hit ricocheted off Shesterkin and trickled wide.
Boy, Minnesota's come to play. You look at the shots right now. It's 9-2, I believe. 10-2 now in favor of Minnesota.
Boldy on the interchange gave it to Kaprizov. He'll float a pass to the left point. Faber takes a look back to Kaprizov, a one-timer. Tipped off a body. Skipped wide. Brodin to pinch in. Boldy intercepted a failed clearing attempt there by Robertson, the young defenseman. After it now, Ryan Hartman back in the net. Hartman dealing with Borgen. Kaprizov at the end of a long shift, staying out there. Knocked it free for Hartman. Tried to center. Boldy tapped it along. Now Hartman from the goal line left side. A side angle shot off the right arm of Shesterkin. Kaprizov to the rebound. Twisting it along. Juracek pinched in. Spun off the check of Lafreniere. Found Vinny Hinostroza for a shot. That went wide. All this 5-on-5 pressure for the Wild in the offensive zone. Middleton to Hinostroza. Backed along for Kaprizov. No crisscross with Hartman and handed that way. Hartman through the slot. Hinostroza a one-timer, and he pushed it just wide. Hinostroza then finished his hit, ramming Borgen down to the ice. Hartman to the puck. Off to Jiricek for a shot. That deflected around. They score! Oh, they're going to wave it off. Hinostroza out of midair, baseball bat style, but they'll say his stick was above the crossbar, and they're going to wave it off instantly.
Boy, what a great effort by Minnesota. They just have good control of the puck. They're making those passes tape to tape. They're moving their feet, and they're making some good things happen.
We have no goal on the play as the puck was batted into the net with a high stick.
Again, Tom, I've said this before, and once earlier this year, I'd rather they just let the play go and let the Rangers challenge.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
That was awfully close.
It's very close.
It's not like it was, he was cleaning the lights with his stick blade, where you go, okay, that's an obvious one.
Show us the replay again. I'd like to see it again, but they may not want to show it again for fear that they'll be a little upset.
8:36 to go. Opening period. Timeout on the ice. What a couple of shifts by the Wild. It stays 1-1, though, at Madison Square Garden. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Going on vacation? We're here for it. With kids who turn the back seat into a courtroom drama over whose tablet is louder, whose charger is faster, and why watching the same cartoon for the 100th time is a human right? Yep, we totally have vehicles to handle that. Because whether it's a road trip or a business trip, where your flight's delayed, your phone's at 2%, and your dinner, whatever's open, yeah, here for that too. Enterprise, we're here for it.
Fall weather is knocking on our doors, and you know what that means. Chilly days are just around the corner. That's why it's good to know that knowledgeable, friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling will do whatever it takes to keep your furnace running efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Talk to your local Bryant dealer about rebates and special financing plans, including 0% interest for 60 months for qualified buyers now through November 29th. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. That's Bryant.com. Bryant, celebrating 25 years as the official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
A Pentair scoreboard update.
4 other games tonight in the National Hockey League. One in progress. The Kraken and Flyers knotted at a goal apiece midway through the first. Kraken yet to lose in regulation this year. 3-0-2 into tonight. But like I said, midway through the first, they're even at a goal apiece in Philly. Later on, you got the Canadiens hosting the Sabres. The Jets will skate in Calgary. Winnipeg fell to the Stars in game number 1. They've won 4 straight sets. And the late one has the unbeaten Carolina Hurricanes in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Hurricanes are 5-0. The Golden Knights 4-0-2. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
And Joe, it's interesting. You know, the shots on that right now, 12-2 in favor of Minnesota. So you look at the Rangers, they have 1 shot since that goal they scored early on in this hockey game, the 57-second mark by Panarin. But right now, I think when you look at Minnesota, they really have a lot of confidence in the game the way they play at this point.
Hinostroza chomps one in. It's Hartman, Hinostroza, and Foligno. Carson Soucy, his first game back after missing the last 4 with injury, slides it around his end wall. Brodin gapped up nicely, but this play is offside on Minnesota. 8:18 to go in the opening periods. John Hines, Mike Sullivan work together a bunch internationally. They've known each other for a number of years. John Hines saying this morning, these 2 teams are identical system-wise, how they want to play the game. So I said, was it one of those where you just want to get to your game first? And he said, absolutely. They want to play their style, and the Rangers are going to play their style, and those 2 things are essentially a mirror image of each other.
Well, I think right now the Rangers have to be back on their heels right now because Minnesota's come out with the guns a-blazing in this one. They've had a lot of shots, a lot of zone time with that puck in the offensive area.
The other thing John Hines talked about was not only managing the puck well in this game, but staying at the net, right? The Wild have been getting to the net, but not necessarily maybe staying there. He also said they're playing too slow in the neutral zone. Wants to see his team just get north quicker, and again, first touch, they want to be skating as it's bounced into the Ranger zone. Shesterkin out to sweep it along. Right wing corner, Fox, backhand, forehand. Nearly lost it to Trenyon. Trenyon then does jab it free. Here's Pitlick just curling it down low. Ben Jones tries to go after it. Gavrikov to Cooley. The Rangers try to break it out. Slowed down by Pitlick. Dug free by Trenyon. He'll rip it around the wall, but the Wild were bailing out on a change to nobody there except for the Rangers' Artemi Panarin, who finds Gavrikov, the big defenseman who spent last year with the Kings. Now it comes the way of Lafreniere tossing it in. The shots right now are 12-2 in favor of Minnesota. Robertson, who got his first NHL goal Saturday night, to the right point for a shot by Borgen that tipped wide. Rangers pick it up. They squeeze it through the goal mouth. Nobody there. Borgen charged to it. His drive was blocked out in front by Bouillon. It comes again to the right point. Borgen, another shot. This one tipped by Miller, who threw Spurgeon down to the ice. Gustafson made the save. Spurgeon back to his skates, trying to poke it out right side. Robertson now a point shot. Glove save, Gustafson. And JT Miller, the Rangers captain, right in the lap of the goaltender.
He's standing right in the crease, blue crease area, no question about it. That's his 14th year now for JT Miller in the NHL. Second time with the Rangers, his 8th year being with this squad. But he was named their captain in September of this year. Of course, comes through the way of Vancouver, where he spent a lot of years with the Canucks in that regard. But he provides that leadership, that toughness for this hockey club also.
70 points between the Canucks and the Rangers last year for JT Miller, who has 5 career goals against Philip Gustafson. He scored Saturday in the Rangers win, had 4 shots and 13 won faceoffs. Tied for 5th in the NHL in faceoff wins coming into this game for JT Miller. As the Wild force a puck from the D zone out the center, Zibanejad lofts it back in. Gustafson handled in the trapezoid-shaped area, sent it around. Panarin tried to feed it down low. It's blocked, kicks ahead, and Boldy finds Kaprizov. Snapped along looking for the weak side D. Middleton, who was joining the rush. Again, something John Hines talked about this morning. Get that defense activated. Kaprizov around the net of Shesterkin. Floats one along. Eriksson covering at the blue line. Fired a shot. Boldy tipped it wide. Kaprizov to a loose puck. Back of the cage, centered. Open in front. Eriksson, and the pass kind of jammed them. Rangers, though, fumbled away. They were trying to blow the zone. They lost it. Boldy punched it down low. Eriksson leaned on by Borgen. Supporting well, Kaprizov centered. Boldy, a quick shot. He hammered it off the glass and wide. Eriksson now to the left wing circle for Faber. Up top for Boldy, covering for Faber. Faber now at center point as Boldy jams one into the right wing corner. Eriksson to the blue line for Faber. Handed along Boldy. A little shot. Glanced out in front. Brodin will pick it up left side, twisting it down low on a cycle attempt. Eriksson let it come free for Kaprizov, who stapled immediately to the end glass by Matthew Robertson. Left wing side, or rather right wing side for the Rangers' vantage point. New York able to clear down, but this is going to be an icing call here, and another good shift 5-on-5 in the offensive zone for the Wild.
It really has been. They're playing with a lot of pedigree right now. When you watch Minnesota, they're moving their feet, and because of that, they have good puck possession in the offensive zone, and that's where you score your goals from. Right now, the face-off of the icing call is going to be the left of Shesterkin.
So after opening night in St. Louis, where the Wild had 7 first-period shots, they played 3 straight games. The Blue Jackets, the Kings, and the Stars, the latter of which was on the road. 14 shots in each of those first periods. Then the last 2 games of this road trip, 3 shots and 3 shots. At the Caps, at the Flyers in opening period action. The Wild right now with 13 first-period shots. So getting back to that shooting mentality and a lot of time in the offensive zone. And Estroza forced a pass up top. Bouillon cut through the slot. His little backhander never got through. It's handed to the point. Spurgeon rolled along right side. Hinostroza took a shot towards the side of the cage. Foligno grabbed it, roped it up top. Spurgeon given along to Bouillon, and now Hinostroza. Vinny Hinostroza along the left wing wall offensive zone. There's Spurgeon creeping in for a backdoor pass, and he one-timed it. Shesterkin made the save.
Yeah, once again, a good read by the captain. Also, he just broke in from that right side, and Spurgeon took the shot.
Getting checked down from behind in the offensive zone was Hinostroza. Now Hartman behind the net. A thunderous collision with Borgen. Borgen tapped it away from trouble. Foligno took a run at him as it sailed out of play by Borgen. Did it hit something on the way out?
They're calling for the face-off. I believe
they're going to say it's deflected. The Wild were hoping for a delay game call. Well, we've got our final break in the action here in the opening period. 4:49 to go. The Wild and the Rangers tied at 1 from Madison Square Garden. Here in the opening period, you're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Not far away, but nothing close to ordinary. Grand Casino is right here, ready to surprise you with the ultimate staycation. With big games, better rewards, beautiful hotels, and entertainment catered to you. The thrills just never let up. So make the trip and feel it for yourself. Every mile leads to more at Grand Casino.
We are gathered here to What's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
It's a 1-1 game right now, 4:49 to go here in period number 1. Shots right now are 14-5 in favor of the Minnesota Wild. In case you missed it, the bonus name tonight is Boldy to receive that 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow. Right now the face-off deep in the Ranger zone here at Madison Square Garden to the right of Shesterkin. I like the way Minnesota's come out of the gate. After giving you that first goal, you wonder how they're going to react to it. Well, they reacted in a very positive way because they've had great puck possession in the offensive area.
Off the face-off. They did give Borgen a delay of game penalty there, Tom, after talking about it. It's a wild power play here. 4:40 to go in the first. First man advantage for either side tonight. Boldy controls right wing corner offensive zone. Along to Kaprizov, who shook free. Fired a shot. Shesterkin the save.
A lot of blue shirts around Shesterkin there to help out a little bit in case he would drop the puck, but he is not going to drop it, and that'll keep the face-off to his left right now with 4:30 to go here in period number 1.
Eriksson, Boldy, Kaprizov, Tarasenko, and Buyam for the top-ranked power play in the NHL at 38.5%, but 0 for 5 the last 2 games, the Wild man advantage. Buyam has some room off the one face-off, skates towards the left circle, waits a few moments, crisscrosses with Tarasenko and plays it that way as Buyam stations back now at center point, taking a Tarasenko pass, giving it back to Vladimir Tarasenko, and a shot rose high and wide. Kaprizov gathering the carom. Stashed it along Tarasenko. Back to Kaprizov through the high slot. Adeline shook his way left circle. Threw it in front for Eriksson. It deflected along and kicking it out with his left skate with Shesterkin. The rebound paddled down.
Yeah, once again, number 97 controlling the puck there. He's got family members in from Russia. Also, 6 members of his family are here.
Rangers intercept on a Buyam to Eriksson. Pass near the offensive blue line. And it's turned down the ice again. From left to right on your radio dial, here is Kirill Kaprizov. Spinning it back to Buyam. Buyam darts along, gain the offensive blue line, forces the Boldy, rams it in. Tarasenko gathers. Schneider checked him immediately to the right of Shesterkin. A couple of bodies from each team in there now. 3 from each side. The Wild emerge. Eriksson sent one across the green. It was out of the reach of Boldy, who picks it up off the dasher and sent it back into no man's land. It kicks back through neutral ice and into the Wild zone.
And now look at both teams and a chance to get some fresh players on the ice.
25 seconds left on the Minnesota man advantage as Buyam speeds past Sherry and then rolls it back for Marcus Johansson. Johansson over the offensive blue line, squeezes his way left wing side. All the way around the net of Shesterkin. It's turned to the right point for Hinostroza, who activates before giving it up to Johansson. He's checked along the wall, trying to battle free. Spurgeon pounds it around the net. Hartman only got a chunk of it. Power play about to expire here as coming out from the corner, Hinostroza. Man advantage is over. Johansson high slot a wrister and hit a pair of shin pads and deflected out the center. Spurgeon waits as long as he can before flexing it back in. Shesterkin around the dasher. It was knocked down by Minnesota's Marcus Johansson, who plays it back of the net. Ben Jones hustles to it. Jones sweeps it along. Hartman curls it up top. Jonas Brodin gives it up to Johansson. Johansson turns and fires one. It deflected off a body. It's grabbed by Brodin. He tried to roll it in front, and Connor Sherry cuts that off, and the Rangers able to come through center ice, where it's flexed in by Noah Laba, 4th round pick in 2022. Laba, excuse me. Here is Faber up to Yakov Trenyon, who was slowed down immediately by Soucy. And now Coming back for a loose puck in his own zone, Brock Faber sends it through a slot. Brodin quickly up ice to Pitlick. Found a man, Trenyon. Trenyon just chucked it into the right wing corner. Now Pitlick on the forecheck trying to outduel Edstrom. Back behind his own net, Soucy on his backhand right side. The former Duluth Bulldog cruised it out to center. Here's Jake Middleton for the Wild with Minnesota getting a line change. It comes to Jiricek, hacked along looking for Pitlick. Tyler Pitlick deep in the Rangers zone with 90 seconds to go in the first. Now Hartman on the forecheck center. Trenyon, a quick shot kicked out by Shesterkin. Jiricek to the rebound. David Jiricek being worked over by Zibanejad. Able to maintain puck possession and then rim it around the end wall. Will Cooley bumped by Trenyon. Borgen now pressured by Trenyon, who ended up falling to his backside. Borgen tumbled over top of him, and this puck motored out to center ice. Speeding in is Panarin. Jiricek stayed with him, and a good back check by Hinostroza picked Panarin's pocket.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that second effort.
Up ice, Jiricek tried to fire one. It tips along. Backhanding it deep as Hinostroza. He'll bail out on a change. And on the forecheck goes Foligno, finishing his hit. Panarin now through the Rangers slot, guiding it to Schneider. Boldy with a good stick. Able to tip that away for a moment. Rempe came bouncing into Boldy. As a battle now by the Rangers bench, Sam Carrick emerges, tossing it back to the weak side E, Matthew Robertson. Robertson guides it into the Wild zone. Back behind the net of Philip Gustafson. The two teams looking for this puck. It's now Boldy with a rink-wide pass. Foligno, big hit. Boy, Foligno got laid out by Schneider. It broke his stick in two.
Yeah, but he's right back up in the skates, going to the bench here, getting a new stick, but he sits down.
Rempe throws it into the Wild zone with 10 to go in the frame. Matt Rempe looking for Gavrikov to pinch in left side. It goes back into the corner to the right of Gustafson. Spurgeon battles for it, cleared it off the glass. Gavrikov knocked it down, hurried a shot that hit a body and never got through as the horn sounds. So not a whole lot good for the Rangers outside of that early goal, but then that hit by Schneider seemed to ignite the crowd.
Yeah, I think it certainly got the crowd into it, no question. It was a good check also, and Foligno, he recognizes it too. He took the hit, broke the stick, goes to the bench. He's ready to go again, once again. But Chris Kelleher, Assistant General Manager of the Wild, will be our guest here in just a few moments.
Be part of that Team USA staff for the Winter Olympics coming up with Bill Guerin, of course. We hope you enjoy that conversation. Entertaining opening period. A 1-1 tie. Panarin for the Rangers. Brodin for the visiting Minnesota Wild. The Wild out shooting the Rangers in the first 17-5. We'll take a break as we've reached the first intermission from Madison Square Garden. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
If it's happening in baseball,
the Dodgers are going back to the World Series.
It's on MLB Network Radio.
Dave Roberts getting ready to celebrate.
We enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. So still a lot of work to be done. Let's just do something special.
We're down here with Mookie Betts.
And we'll get to celebrate tonight, and it's just this is the reason why we play the game.
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mound. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there. Join me, Fort Stellick, and Scott
Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Welcome back to New York. Madison Square Garden. After one period of play, it's a tie game at 1 apiece right now. We have visiting with us our guest, Chris Kelleher, the Assistant General Manager of the Minnesota Wild, was in Philadelphia tonight. Seeing this game here tonight, and a little bit of a difference between the two games.
Yeah, I thought we had a lot of jump that period and a lot of pressure and some good ozone shifts and good chances. So it's, they bounced right back after the early goal and came back, and it was a good period for us.
Yeah, it really was. And, of course, they had a goal disallowed. They're saying a high stick. And Joe made a good point. He said, why not let it play out and let them challenge it if they want to challenge it, and then they'll make that decision at the war room or whatever you want to call it. But Minnesota has had that a couple of times this year already where they had a goal disallowed without a challenge.
Yeah, and it's hard because then it puts it on us, right? Like you think a lot of times they call it a goal on the ice and then see where it goes because they can always look at it, right? But he called it right away, and I think if you look at the replay, it looks like it was a little bit high. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at Minnesota. The biggest thing I've seen with this team from this game, the other games, is they're moving their feet. They're moving the puck. They're moving their feet. The challenge is there from the coach, obviously, and the coaching staff to be much more aggressive in the offensive zone, and we're seeing good puck possession in that area.
Yeah, I think tonight, to me, we're playing a lot faster. We're on the guys right away. We're on the puck. We're pressuring, getting it turned over, and moving around in the O-zone. A lot of movement going on and getting some good chances. And it just looks like we're more engaged and playing faster.
And that's one thing John Hines talked about this morning, about playing faster, getting the pace of the game up here and be in on the forecheck. And with that, by being so aggressive on the forecheck, getting into that good puck possession, and they're getting opportunities with the shots on net. I mean, the shots right now are 16-3 they're showing on the board at this point. That could change, though, in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But, yeah, we definitely had some good chances, and, I really like that period.
Well, you got a lot going for you right now. Of course, being the assistant GM, you're going to work with Bill Guerin, who's going to be the GM of the Olympic team coming up, and it's got to be a challenge, I would think, to make sure that you bring in the right players to hopefully get the gold medal in this one. And there's no question there's a lot of pressure on these players, but there's also the pressure from you guys to make sure you pick the right players.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's nice to have a lot of, this is as deep as the Americans have ever been at this level, and the best of the best, and it's nice to have that problem, but it's going to make for a lot of hard decisions. And I think we just got to try to build the best team. We're not necessarily just always going to take the best players because that may not be the best team. So we got to make sure we build the best team to try to win the gold medal.
You talk about a team effort, and you look at John Hines. He's going to be one of the assistant coaches with that squad as well. You got John Worley, you got Travis Green from the medical side of things, working with the players as well, where they know everybody. It's so much easier when you have some type of relationship with these guys coming in. I don't care if you're who you are. If you know the people you're going to be working with, it makes it so much easier going into a situation like this.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Four Nations was so big, is we have the same staff as far as management, coaches, training staff, and all that. And there'll be a lot of those players that we had last year on this team. So I think the continuity is good, and the familiarity is I think it's important. Because there's camaraderie, and so I think that helps a lot with this team going forward.
Chris Kelleher, the Assistant General Manager of the Wild, with us right now. 18 years now you spent with this organization. Chris, you've seen a lot of changes, and you go into a situation like this, and the fans and certainly the team not very happy with the fact that they're not getting the victories, the wins. Last year was such a good start with 7-1-2 in the season. boy, that really bode well for them getting in the playoffs and making some good things happen down the stretch for the fans who were pretty excited about the year last year. But that's a different year. But Minnesota, once again, and I'm seeing this around the league, there's so many injuries at the beginning of the year. And I've always said, people say, do you think they'll be in the playoffs? I said, let me see how healthy they are when we get to that playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you got to be healthy and you got to have some luck and you got to play well. And I think, we've kind of been up and down here to start, and, you never use injuries as excuse, but, every team goes through it. We have some guys out tonight. We have, 2 of our top 6 forwards are out right now, right? But,
right.
Our top line is great, and I think all the other guys, I think all the lines played good that period, and guys just got to step up. I mean, every team goes through injuries, and, it's part of it, unfortunately, and I think with the condensed schedule this year, it might be more so than any other year, but, you got to play through it, and it's, next man up.
Yeah, and then when you lose players, like look, last year, Kaprizov played half the year. I mean, that's really tough when your star player is out for half the year, and yet they had a terrific year last year. They did a good job, no question that they would love to have had him for the entire year, but all of a sudden now you get into a situation like this, and when you lose those star players, it puts more pressure on the rest of the guys to fulfill their role, whatever it may be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're never going to replace Kirill, right? Like, you just can't, replace those guys. Yeah. So, you just got to, we have enough depth, we have enough good players, and guys got to step up. And I think, when you lose guys, Suzuki and Rossi and Sturmy and Bogo, it's, next guy's up, right? Like, these guys are all NHL players. They know they got a job to do, and you got to do it a little bit better because those guys are out, right? So.
Yeah, and that's interesting, too. I mean, when somebody gets hurt, and so often you elevate that guy who might be the center iceman on that third, and now they're up to the second line or, the first line, whatever it may be. You have to adjust, and that's why so often you see all these line combinations they put together, not only in games, but also in the practices that they all get together as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's, you wish you could have 4 lines and have the same 4 lines all year, but nobody ever does. And, I think some of those guys, when you move up from a different third line or fourth line to third or third to second, you're getting different matchups. They're harder matchups you're playing against. Instead of playing the third set of D, you're playing the second set, right? So it's always a challenge, and, I think we have enough guys that can hopefully step up and do that.
Yeah, interesting also when players who have played here for the Rangers, when they show up and they get in that tunnel where the Zamboni comes, just stand there, the crowd immediately recognizes who that player is, regardless of how long they were here. And you hear the chants, and then you hear the cheering coming and everything else. And I remember when Zuccarello was here last year and stood in that, and they just cheered him to death. I mean, they love their players here in New York.
Yeah, they do for sure.
And they know them.
Yeah, they do. I think it's a great building every time I come in here, whether it's with us or just to come watch a game. Scouting wise, I think it's a special building, and I think these fans they're passionate, and I think it's a great atmosphere.
20 seconds to go. What do you expect for the second period coming out here?
Just keep going. I think we got to keep going, keep skating, keep pressuring. Not try to change our game, not try to play too fancy. Just get the pucks in deep. Pressure them. We've had great ozone time. I think we keep doing that. Get pucks to the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep the way we played in the first. We're going to
keep the feet moving. Keep the shots going to the net.
Absolutely.
Chris Kelleher, our guest here. Kevin, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Chris, for joining us in the intermission. You'll get a gift certificate down at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Through one period at Madison Square Garden, Wild won, Rangers won. We'll recap the first 20 minutes next. This is Wild Hockey presented by Grand Casino.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
From highways to skyscrapers, from pipelines to wind farms, we build Minnesota and North and South Dakota. We are the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 49. We are equipment operators, and we believe hard work deserves fair pay and family-supporting benefits. Our apprentices earn while they learn, and our pension lets members build a comfortable retirement. This is more than a job, it's a career. Learn more at local49.org/wild.
Through one period at MSG, the Wild and Rangers are tied at 1 apiece. Artemi Panarin started the scoring just a minute into the contest. Rangers have gone 180 minutes straight of this regular season without a goal at Madison Square Garden. Takes less than a minute to erase that O into this hockey game, but it's the Wild that tie it from the blue line. It's Jonas Brodin.
Here's a chance for Brodin, left side. He scores! Jonas Brodin, for the second straight game, is on the score sheet for the Wild. He had a helper Saturday. He's got his first goal of the season here, and Minnesota needing some offense from their blue line gets just that with 5:10 gone by in the first to tie this game at 1.
Eriksson Ek wins the faceoff, gets it to Boldy, who shoves it off to Brodin, wrists it from the left circle, beats Shesterkin, pulls the even at a goal apiece. Vinny Hinostroza had one waved off for a high stick, but the Wild were buzzing at that point and actually put 17 shots on goal in that first period. They had 16 the entire game Saturday in Philadelphia. 1-1 is your score after one. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by Grand Casino.
Hockey lives here.
Sagan to Ben, down low, delays, he scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The second is next. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by Grand Casino.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Wake up at 5. Lace up their skates. You want to see them win state. After all, that's all your kid dreams about. And a strain, sprain, or break doesn't have to take that away. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care is here for them 7 days a week with no appointment needed. And with Save My Spot, you can reserve your place in line and show up closer to check-in time. With Tria by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit tria.com/SaveMySpot to learn more.
Know what happy is? Veggies. Crunchy, crispy, colorful, seasonal, aromatic, juicy veggies. Produce at its freshest. Cub produce. Best produce, period. Guaranteed to make you happy or will replace it. No questions asked. Because good produce makes veggie lovers happy. Just remember, fresh, happy. Stale, limp, and wilted, not happy. You want to make a veggie lover happy? Shop Cub for produce. And shop happy.
We live in an instant world, but when it comes to getting paid for our hard work, we're stuck waiting 2 weeks. That's a system designed for a different time, and it's holding you back. Whether you're an employer wanting to offer a great new benefit or an employee looking to make your money work better, Daily Pay gives you access to earnings you've already worked for. Pay that bill, fill up your tank, or handle that unexpected expense, all on your schedule. Just like the Minnesota Wild doesn't wait to make the play, you don't have to wait to get paid. Visit dailypay.com/wild and get your money when you need it.
We're back for the second period. You know, some buildings, Tom, we go to, it feels like we can't get one score sheet. I think they gave us 17 for the two of us here tonight.
Yes, it's a little hard to get the stats from some of these teams now because they're going green.
That's what it is. The Wild and the Rangers here, 1-1 game as we start the second. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the second. Rangers from left to right. There was one power play in the opening period. Wild failed to score on it. Rangers got the opening goal in the opening minute after being shut out in each of their first three home games on 90 total shots. So 90 shots in three home games. They didn't score once, and they got one early here tonight. Then the Wild tied it. We have a whistle and a neutralized draw coming up.
Yeah, it's interesting also, Joe, in that first period. You look at the number of shots Minnesota had in that first period, 17 shots, but they had 10 different players who had shots on net. So you can see that those guys are engaged. They want to get in that offensive zone, which they did a good job of. Chris Keller and I were talking about the fact that they were able to get the puck in the zone and move their feet and make some good things happen. The seventh, when you have 10 of your 18 skaters getting shots, that tells you they're pretty well engaged.
The Wild had a total of 8 points from defensemen coming in. Lion's share of those on the power play. When you factor in all that Bouillon has done in particular on the man advantage in the assist department. So nice to get a goal from the back end. The Rangers coming into this game already had 5 goals from defense. The Wild were near the bottom of the pack with just the 8 points from defensemen. Bottom third of the NHL. Here's Faber right side, slapping it along. It tips loose out at center. Edstrom tries to pick it up. Sam Carrick is there. He's got Rempe going to the front of the net. Carrick met in the corner. It deflects along. Edstrom couldn't come up with it. Now Edstrom does find this loose puck. Try to push it the way of Rempe. Faber was there first, and Trenyon just able to offer it out the center. It's drilled back in by Robertson. Gustafson stopped it off his end glass. Brodin hustles to it. Brodin cut around his cage. He and Rempe both went down into a heap as Sam Carrick has it. They'll flip it to Fox. Back to Carrick. Try to return pass. On a second effort, did get it there. Fox bashing it down low. Faber off his end wall. Now Brodin right wing corner. Tossing it free. Pitlick just avoided a train track collision there with Carrick. Carrick went down hard. The Wild didn't get the puck out, though.
Yeah, Pitlick had the eyes on him. He saw him coming, just ducked down in time.
Now separating a man from the puck is Ben Jones. He's able to scoop it along and get it out to center ice. Trenyon stepping in onside, left circle. Trenyon has a lane, fanned on his chance, went hard then into the end wall as he lost his footing. Speeding to it, though, is Hinostroza fresh off the Wild bench. Through one to the cross corner. Hartman grabs it deep in the Ranger zone. Try to knock one side of the net. Shesterkin just batting that aside with his goal stick. Wild finishing a line change here as Foligno steps onto the ice replacing Trenyon. The Rangers' Will Cooley comes through center. He lost it. And up into open ice now. A jailbreak for Minnesota if they hurry. It's Hinostroza's got a man in front. Foligno backhand, forehand, backhand, and a chance stopped by Shesterkin. He was in tight, tried to stick handle free, but Shesterkin wouldn't have it. denying Marcus Foligno a grade A scoring chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get those opportunities, you got to make the most of them.
Foligno still looking for his first goal and point of the season as Spurgeon winds one around the end boards of New York, and Rangers able to get to it and saucer it out to center.
And Joe, you always expect that second period is going to be a little bit slower than the first period, but there's both teams still skating very well here early on in the second period.
Tom, is that generally, as it's icing here on Minnesota, do you feel that way? Because generally, you go in the locker room, you talk about adjustments, and you try to tighten up?
Yeah, you tighten up a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely you do. But Minnesota, they had such a good first period, and they did that because they were moving their feet. And we talk about that all the time. And the fact when you're moving your feet like that, you're going to get the opportunities. And Minnesota had some good scoring chances in the first period.
Hartman on the draw.
And especially after giving up an early goal like that, you wonder how is the team going to respond to it? Well, they responded the right way.
Robertson, a shot off the one face-off. Tarasenko got his stick in the lane, and it ends up in the netting.
And this is where face-offs are so important, winning those draws, especially if you're in your own zone defensively. You really have to make sure you can bear down and capture that puck and get the puck going north. And Minnesota did a good job in that first period, although the draws were 50-50. At the end of the first 20 minutes.
They were 50-50 in large part because Joel Eriksson won 5 of 6 face-offs.
Boy, what a year he's having also. And I know it's a short year, but at this point, but I mean, he looks so much bigger up on the upper body. Took a stick in the mouth the other day, lost a couple of teeth, I guess, in that situation as well. Been there, done that, except the guy who hit me was Lou Nanne. He was my teammate.
Well, he's only about 25 feet to our left. You can remind him of it at a commercial break.
Oh, I remind him all the time.
Middleton chunks one along. Kaprizov steps in onside. Kaprizov slows down, looks for some late help. Found Eriksson, but the pass jammed him a bit. Right wing boards Eriksson, tossing it back in the net, looking for Boldy. It leaked free. Kaprizov, a shot off the mask of Shesterkin, who's asking for a whistle here. He's either dazed or the mask is... Oh, it's both. The mask needs to be worked on probably, and Shesterkin is down on a knee. Well, his fellow countryman there, Kirill Kaprizov, blasting one off the mask of Shesterkin from a tough angle, and he immediately put his arm up. And usually when one of those straps breaks, the referee will get a whistle right away. It took a few moments, and they are picking up some of the plastic pieces, I'd imagine, from that goaltender mask of Shesterkin that are down around the crease area.
Well, celebrate the season in style with a private Minnesota Wild Suite. Gather friends or family for an unforgettable holiday experience. You can enjoy a VIP entrance, a dedicated in-suite service, and a personalized touch that makes every game feel like a celebration. Learn more at wild.com/suites. Good way to spend the holidays.
There is a lot of debris from that mask. I don't know if it's a back strap or the throat guard of Shesterkin's mask that shattered, or maybe both.
And I love the rule. I love the rule when something happens to a goaltender like that, and they usually signal the referee something's wrong. Then the referee blows the whistle. That's a good thing to protect the goalies. I mean, when a goaltender's mask comes off like that, a helmet, they blow the whistle immediately. That puck's coming at 100 miles an hour plus, and you don't want to take one in the noggin like they used to.
So it appears that they just gave Shesterkin his backup mask, for lack of a better term. It looks like the Rangers equipment staff right behind the bench there had a bag with an extra mask.
Jacques Plante was the first goaltender to wear a mask. He got hit in a game and went up and got stitched up. They used to stitch up, then come back and play the game again because they didn't have a backup goaltender for the most part. They had a trainer who might be assistant, the backup goaltender. During the game, you had to sometimes wait 40 minutes. Play the game. That's why they went into the 2 goaltender system, because it took too much time off, especially with television.
What did you guys do for, say, 20, 30, 40 minutes?
Well, I wasn't there at that time, but I was close to it.
Zibanejad shifts one out the center. Rangers now back inside their own blue line with Fox to Zibanejad, rifling one rink wide. Panarin steps to it, left circle, try to drop pass. It hit Danila Yurov and kicks deep into the Wild zone. Yurov poked it free from Panarin. A good play there by the rookie. And Brodin scales it ahead. Back is Gavrikov. They'll turn and offer one along. Panarin steps over the blue line, a long wrister. Big rebound off the equipment of Gustafsson. And the rebound then picked up eventually by Minnesota and jarred through center. Where Adam Fox has it for New York. Fox had a couple of assist Saturday in Montreal. The Rangers with a good-looking chance here, and a strong kick save by Gustafsson, one of his best of the evening. The other way, Eriksson Ek floating it to Spurgeon, who was trying to lead the rush from his point position. His wrister deflects out of play.
And Joe, you mentioned that save by Gus also, and that's a huge save for him also. That's a confidence builder for a goaltender, especially after giving up an early goal in a game like this. You're thinking, oh, here I go again. But he's made some nice saves since then, and that was a good one coming right off of the pad. And then the rebound went the opposite way, and Minnesota able to capture that one, take it out of the defensive zone. Right now the face-off deep in the Ranger zone.
Gustafsson stopped 40 out of 45 Friday night in the nation's capital. He probably deserved a better fate. Final score ended up being 5-1 in that hockey game. As JT Miller now for the Rangers, spins one in front. Gustafsson punched it away from trouble. Boldy picks up the loose puck. Slowly through center, Matt Boldy hits the red line, lasers it in. Kaprizov right wing wall, trying to smack it back down low. Lafreniere was there for a moment. Alexis Lafreniere watches this puck battle to the left of Shesterkin, holding in Boldy at the point, skates towards the left wing side, fed it back up top to Bouillon. Bouillon wheels it to Eriksson Ek, centering. Kaprizov, a quick shot, stop, rebound. Boldy battling for it, got a try in front. Shesterkin the save and a penalty call.
Yeah, he's going to be held, either a hooking or a holding call, but it's going to go against the Rangers. Minnesota will go on their second power play of this hockey game. They had 2 shots in their first man advantage.
What strength by Boldy there to battle for that puck in front.
Here are minor penalty, 13, hooking.
Hooking is a call, and that's going to go against Lafreniere. He'll go in the box, and Minnesota will be on the second power play of this game. Is tied up at 1 apiece. Shots right now 23-9 in favor of Minnesota, and the face-off deep in the New York Rangers zone.
Rangers still haven't allowed a power play goal at home this year. They've given up just 2 in the entire season. This is their 8th game. Last year, they were 11th in the league. 2 years ago, they were ranked 3rd. Here's Kaprizov right side after a fanned shot by Eriksson Ek. Kaprizov forced it to Bouillon, has some space, fired one that knuckled high, and is reached up and caught just over the crossbar by Igor Shesterkin, the former 4th-round pick in 2014.
Minnesota once again doing a job. William comes in and makes that shot. Puck goes up high and boy, well over the top of the net, but Shesterkin able to grab onto it, and that'll bring the face-off to his right. William is a guy that's very, very interesting to watch also. Offensively, he has done a good job. Defensively, he'll learn. Right now, his minus is not very good, and the defensemen look at that. I mean, all players look at plus or minus, but what he brings to the table offensively outweighs what he does defensively.
Wild dig this puck back on the draw. Bouillon fanned on a shot, had to stay with it, just stabbing it towards Tarasenko. He was checked immediately. Now Gavrikov around his own net, banks it off Kaprizov, and 3/4 of the way down the ice, where Zeev Bouillon races back to pick it up, the 19-year-old. Bouillon left wing boards, now through the neutral zone with a full head of steam, rolls it to Tarasenko, cross ice, a hurried shot in front, and Bouillon jabbed it just wide. It was Boldy on that cross ice pass, just teeing it up back to the back post, but Bouillon couldn't deflect it past Shesterkin. Kaprizov at center point on a reset, off to Boldy for a hurried one-timer, and Shesterkin traps that.
Boy, a good read once again with Boldy and Kaprizov working together out there to get that shot on that. Good passing, and what I like about it is the way they're passing. They're firm, they're quick, they're tape to tape, and it gives the teammate a chance to do something with the puck. But there was Shesterkin making the save once again on that play. Minnesota is now outshot the opposition 24-9, but it's a 1-1 game.
Rangers missed the playoffs last year by 6 points. A year removed from winning the President's Trophy and having 55 wins. They dropped down to just 39 wins last year. They fired Peter Laviolette on April the 19th, hired Mike Sullivan a couple of weeks later. And in their 100th anniversary season, looking to get back to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, they dropped 29 points last year compared to the year before.
Zibanejad steals shorthanded, slides it down the ice. Second unit's out for Minnesota. With the power play for the Wild dwindling down to just over a half minute. Spurgeon, a right wing feed, Vinny Hinostroza in on side. Aerial pass rink wide for Hartman, protected it, sent it up top. Johansson down low, you're off to the back post, and tipping it just wide was Hinostroza. Good passing play there by the Wild. It comes to the point, Spurgeon. Shifted along to Johansson, a goal line feed now. Hinostroza guides it up to the captain, Spurgeon. fumbled it away for a moment, then tapped it off to Johansson. It comes to the point again, Spurgeon. Right circle Johansson, off to Hinestroza for a one-timer. That's blocked. And that really hobbled the Rangers player, and they're going to get a whistle here. It's Noah Laba in his 8th career NHL game. That follow-through on the shot caught him up high, and he is bleeding a lot. It was Johansson to Hinestroza, and I think the follow-through on the one-timer from Vinny Hinestroza clipped Laba up high, and there's just a trail of blood going towards the Rangers bench, and he didn't even make it all the way before they halted play.
Yeah, good move, and the officials also blow. You could see that he was hurt. Laba now trying to get up to his skates and being assisted by the medical staff there and his teammates as well.
Yeah, he's going to be helped off the ice. You know, sometimes, Tom, not only do you get cut, but you get dazed, as I'm sure you're aware, possible concussion as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to come out and scrape the ice here at Madison Square Garden with 12:59 to go in the second period. As Tom mentioned earlier, the Wild heavily out shooting the Rangers in what is a 1-1 game. Don't forget the Wild are back on home ice after this 5-game trip wraps up. They've got a home date against Utah Saturday, 5 o'clock game. Sunday at 5, they play the San Jose Sharks, who will be concluding a road trip of their own when they get to St. Paul at Grand Casino Arena. Saturday and Sunday home games both at 5 o'clock. Wild.com/tickets.
Yeah, I'm surprised they only have one player one guy on the ice right now.
Where's everybody else?
He's got a whole.
It's going to take
about 60 feet of.
It's going to take him 45 minutes.
Well, we can tell you then. You can be there as the Wild return home to take on the Utah Mammoth this Saturday. From big hits to highlight real goals. Every matchup brings the action, and this one's no exception. Grab your single-game tickets now at wild.com/tickets, and they're a pretty good team.
Seriously, where is everybody else from the ice crew?
Probably the hot dog stand now.
Are they on break? This poor guy. He hasn't even gotten to where Laba met the athletic training staff, and there is a slew of blood splatter there.
Yeah, the pail, he's got to scrape all. He's got to get the blood off the ice, but he's got to do it all by himself. Now he's got what we call a sputter. That's taking the
is that a technical term?
No, yeah, that's what we call it.
Well, one of the referees is helping out. They're going to trade instruments here. Did you say sputter?
You can't vote.
The referee goes and gets the sputter. Now the ice crew member has a shovel, and he's still out here by himself. I've never seen this before.
This must be a union deal.
Give this guy a raise. He did well.
Well, he's not done yet.
Just took him 2 minutes.
Oh, they got more over here. Come on, guys. Where is this?
I don't know what to tell you. Now we got to get him off the ice.
We got Dan Ginsberg as our guy running the board up here. Dan, why don't you go down and help him out?
Yeah, I'll run the board, Dan. You get down there and get a shovel. Hartman wins the draw back. Juracek paddles it to Hinestroza. Back up top. Juracek, a drive, stop, rebound. Sitting in the low slot. Can the Wild find it? It's underneath the body. Penalty is over to Lafreniere. Juracek right point to Hartman for a quick shot. Knocked down by Shesterkin. He'll frisbee it out to center ice himself. It hits the glove of JT Miller. Ricochets all the way in on Gustafsson, who will salt it away for a whistle.
Yeah, Gus was not taking any chances. That puck came due. He wasn't quite sure where to go with it, so just hung on to it, and that'll get the face-off deep in the Minnesota zone, which is a good move. Well, be there as the Wild return home to take on the Utah Mammoth this Saturday. From big hits to highlight real goals. Every matchup brings the action, and this one's no exception. So grab your single-game tickets now at wild.com/tickets. Of course, Utah is the former Arizona team in the same division as Minnesota.
Yeah, you mentioned just a moment ago, exciting young team. Adding J.J. Peterka from Buffalo Sabres in the offseason to go along with Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, etc. Here's Gavrikov, a drive. Boy, that rocketed through some traffic, and Gustafsson fends it away. Sherry, former two-time Stanley Cup champ with Pittsburgh, who was out of the NHL last season, spent the entire year in the AHL, to Connor Sherry. Wild now start ahead with Hartman protecting the puck from Sherry. He'll fight his way right circle, fired one. Shesterkin did well to deflect it to his right, and the Rangers pick up the puck. They have numbers if they hurry. Lafreniere over the blue line, watched by Jiricek. Alexei Lafreniere around the net of Philip Gustafson. Stopped left wing hash mark, shuttled one in front. Gustafson kicks out of side. Middleton leaks out to his left and flicks this puck through center. Braden Schneider picked it up. And the Rangers step back in on side with Will Cooley. Cooley watched by Jiricek. Left wing boards Cooley. Rolled it to the point for Carson Soucy to pound down low. It was Zibanejad then looking for Panarin. Panarin slashed it up top. Soucy across the blue line. Gets it to Cooley. Off along the left wing boards now. Panarin back to Cooley. A one-timer blocked by Ben Jones. Zibanejad to it. Then to Cooley. He fell down. Soucy holds in. Jones got a piece of that. Dumped down. And he's able to backhand out to center. Quick regroup. Rangers come right back over the blue line. Schneider dropped it to Zibanejad. A wrister. Blocker to his right by Gustafson. Johansson now picks it up for Minnesota. A bank pass for Jones. And Jones couldn't find it. And that draws this play offside.
Yeah, it was behind Jones. He had to reach back for it, but it had too much speed there. And the offside call was made against Minnesota. And that'll keep the face-off just outside the defensive zone of the New York Rangers.
Well, here's about 20 ice crew members to scrape the ice during the timeout.
And they all have shovels.
And they're all wearing some type of throwback apparel. This is the 100th anniversary of the Rangers. We'll take a break. Good one so far in New York. The game tied at 1 with 11:11 to go in the second. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
The Morbid Podcast Network is on the Sirius XM app.
Spoiler alert, it's a spooky situation.
Find everything from dark, funny, true crime stories.
Next stop, the creepy trail.
To horror movie deep dives.
From Texas Chainsaw 2006 to Freddy vs. Jason.
And spine-tingling supernatural tales.
This week's headline, Buried Alive.
Plus, get ad-free access to new episodes of the pod that started it all. Just search Morbid in the Sirius XM app. Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
11 showing on the big board right now. That's the time remaining. Shot 25-12 in favor of Minnesota. It's a 1-1 game. And so you look at Minnesota celebrating their 25th anniversary. The Rangers celebrating their 100th anniversary.
Off the face-off, New York has it. Lafreniere through the neutral zone. Stick handles over the blue line. Right circle on his backhand. Fired one in front, and Miller had a couple chops in tight. Eriksson was tying him up. Gustafson at least one save in there. Behind his own net, Faber lays it along. Kaprizov pokes it free. Boldy cruising it loose. It's Eriksson. And a one-on-one. So a long wrister. Stop. Rebound for Kaprizov. And that glanced off Shesterkin and found the end wall. That's now 26 shots for Minnesota. Jonas Brodin, who has the Wild tally, swings it along for Brock Faber and tosses it out through center ice and up near the offensive blue line right side where Matt Boldy carries along. Braden Schneider checked him hard along the glass. Kaprizov now trying to dig it free against big Adam Edstrom. Edstrom, the 25-year-old, dumped to the ice. Picking it up Borgen from a pile of players, and he'll make a nifty pass for Edstrom, who charges along, laying it off to Carrick, left circle, dancing in, took a shot blocked. It broke the stick of Spurgeon. Rangers get to it. Spurgeon trying to get a stick here from Kaprizov. He will. As the Wild try and gallop off on a change. That puck kind of exploded away out the center. The Rangers couldn't do much after the stick of Spurgeon shattered in two. Schneider right point as the Rangers come back into the zone. His shot glanced wide. It deflects now out into the slot. Tarasenko grabs it, and he'll snap it ahead into open ice. He's just shy of the red line, though, and this is icing on Minnesota.
Yeah, that's going to bring the faceoff back deep in the Minnesota zone, and I don't think Minnesota's looking to do that, but that's the way it's going to be. And, of course, Minnesota cannot make a player change because of the icing call that they were responsible for.
William and Jiricek are on the ice together right now. Again, the Wild can't change because of the icing call. My guess is they were in the midst of a change when the puck was iced, so we'll see how this works out with the two young defensemen out there. A 62nd career game for Jiricek. And the first full NHL season rookie campaign for Z. Bouillon. Wild get it out to center. Rangers flop it back in. Kaprizov hustling to it. Spinning right wing wall. Off to Eriksson trying to golf it out. It's bottled up by Gavrikov. They got caught up in some equipment there along the dasher. Drops back onto the ice. Jiricek right wing side just snapping this puck up into the air and softly ahead so there's no icing.
Yeah, nice play by Jiricek. Gets the puck all the way down. That allows Minnesota to get some fresh players on the ice.
It's now Brodin and Jiricek as Johansson, Yurov, and Tarasenko are out up front. Rangers holding. Gavrikov's pass deflected free. 3-on-2 for Minnesota. Middle of the ice, Marcus Johansson hits the blue line. Flopped it along to Yurov. Fired one from a tough angle. It's loose side of the net off Shesterkin. Tarasenko jabs it up. Brodin back to Tarasenko, trying to refine Brodin. That's taken away. And Panarin will just chop it through center. Rangers change on the fly. Faber to Brodin. Left wing side. Hacked it along looking for Johansson. Not much there. And New York has it with Edstrom. Bunting it back for Gavrikov. Loosened up right side for Borgen to hammer ahead. This is going to be... Nope, they wave off icing. Back is Faber. Able to chisel it loose. Pitlick's pass, though, was stolen. And batted down low by Juuso Parssinen, the former Predators draft pick. To the left of Philip Gustafsson, the two teams battling for it. It's rimmed around the wall by Taylor Radish. Robertson left it along. A hurried, heavy one-timer by Parssinen, though, caught the glass. Borgen pinches in. Johansson checked him and then just freed it up for Brodin. The sky along the right wing wall. But again, the Rangers hold in with Parssinen. Worked over by Pitlick. Robertson now floats it behind the Wild net. As New York finishes a change, it's Faber to escape some pressure and bank it along for Brodin. Jabbed off the right wing dasher. Pitlick bottled up. On a second effort, knifed it through center for Ben Jones to sky alone. And on the forecheck goes Trenyon. Took a run at Lafreniere, who reversed the puck. JT Miller, now the Rangers captain, scooping it along. Carson Soucy hits the red line and fires it into the left of Gustafsson. Back is Middleton to try to whack it out of his own zone. It got slowed down. Rangers keep it alive for a moment with Miller trying to just push it deeper into the Wild D zone. Lafreniere hustles to it. Spurgeon met him in the corner, separated from the puck, but laid it around to a vacated corner. Where it was thrown in front by Soucy, who pinched down. Middleton steals, carries the Wild ahead in the 3-on-2. Jake Middleton, deep into the Rangers' zone, right wing side, spins to his forehand, left it back. A hurried shot by Hartman, deflected wide past the short side post. 7 minutes to go in the second. It's a 1-1 game in New York. Spurgeon finds Middleton into the right wing corner. Hinostroza banked along for Hartman, has some space left. Face-off dot with a shot. He just missed the far post. Brodin off the bench, keeps in, labeled one down low, kicked off the end wall, hoping for Hartman. And then Hartman, as he was falling down, batted it back to a vacated point. And it's a turnover as Rempe now charges in. Matt Rempe tried to go short side. He ran out of room, hit the outside of the net. On to it, Hinostroza clearing attempt, cut off by Fox. Fox centers. Rempe falling down. Couldn't get a backhander through. Brodin got his stick in that lane. And the Wild jamming along and get it out the center. 27 shots for the Wild, 14 for the Rangers. 6:15 and counting in the second. In onside is Carrick. Left circle, cut to his forehand, lost the puck. Wild hoping to come up with it. Cooley and Brodin go to the corner. To the right of Philip Gustafsson. Edstrom is there momentarily for New York. It's cycled along then for Cooley. Brodin slowed him down, won the battle, pushed it the way of Faber. Faber picks his head up, slid it along to Hinostroza, and rolled back for Brodin deep in his own slot. He's pressured by Panarin and could only get it out to center ice. Rangers come back in on sides of Zibanejad, firing one of the back posts. Panarin picked it up, cut around the net of Gustafsson. Here's Artemi Panarin out through the high slot with a wrister. It was blocked out in front. Panarin gets to it, launched one side of the net, a pinball free. Faber will poke it into open ice. It's a breakaway pass if he can find Hartman. Hartman steps in on side, but three Rangers get back, and so Hartman just angles it around the end wall.
Yeah, good play by Hartman. Just the guy in the corner, he goes right to the bench.
5.5 minutes now left in the second. It's Eriksson, Kaprizov, and Boldy onto the ice for Minnesota. As the Rangers come through the neutral zone. Zibanejad dances right circle, took a shot, kick save Gustafsson. William did a nice job there to keep Zibanejad from finding more open ice in the Wild slot. Now Kaprizov to a loose puck. He'll dance it in the Rangers zone, left wing side. Kirill Kaprizov protects into the corner, ran into the referee as well as Will Borgen, the Rangers defenseman. And so over to help out now Eriksson. Got some support from Boldy as well. Into the corner, Kaprizov centered Boldy. Worked it right side. Spurgeon loads, fires a drive. And a blocker saved by Shesterkin. Rebound not clear. The Wild hunting this puck down again. It's Kaprizov, left wing wall. Trying to muscle it into the corner. That was slowed down, though, by New York's Matthew Robertson. And it's chopped out the center by the Rangers. Lafreniere at the red line right side. Dumped by Eriksson as he wound it into the Wild zone. Bouya picks his head up, snaps a long pass. It tipped off a stick plate of a Rangers player and ends up behind the net of Shesterkin. Rangers cranking around on the right wing wall. Carrick bottled up by the Wild forecheck. As we see Urov centering Tarasenko and Johansson now for Minnesota. Carson Soucy checked by Danila Urov. Braden Schneider steps to the loose puck. A right wing pass for Carrick, gapped up by Middleton, so he just played it out to center. In front of the Rangers bench goes David Jiricek. Hacked it along. Urov on a second effort, forced it ahead, but Tarasenko was trapped in the offensive zone, and this play is offside on Minnesota. 4:08 to go. Period 2 for Madison Square Garden. No scoring for either side in the second. It's still a 1-1 game in New York. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapist will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is a Pentair Scoreboard Update.
Noah Cates is at it again after scoring in overtime against the Wild on Saturday. He's on the board in the second period for the Flyers tonight at home against the Kraken. The Flyers lead the Kraken 4-2 with 6:39 left to go in the second. For Cates, it's his third of the season. Montreal has a 1-0 lead over Buffalo. That's through one period of play. And coming up later on, the Calgary Flames will host the Winnipeg Jets. That one's coming up at 8:30. Half hour later, the Golden Knights will play host to the Hurricanes. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Will join us in the second intermission tonight when we'll bring you Tom Reed's hotline. Text your question and comments right now to 64686, and you might win tickets to Saturday's game against the Utah from Grand Casino Arena. Text us now at 64686, and we'll talk to you after the second period. Right now, the faceoff is outside the defensive zone of the New York Rangers.
Urov, Johansson, Tarasenko, Brodin in favor for Minnesota. Zibanejad on the draw for New York. Zibanejad, 20 goals last season. Could reach 1,000 games this year if he stays healthy. Wild to have a couple of players nearing those big milestones as well this year.
That's if they stay healthy. How many teams are going to be healthy by the end of the year? Not too many. So the game has changed to a point now that you get in, you get hurt, you get back as soon as you possibly can, and the sooner you get back, the better off it is for your team. But right now the faceoff is going to be right at center ice.
After the puck, it ended up in the Rangers bench for a moment. Back for it is Brock Faber. Slips it around to the left wing wall. Urov trying to clear out. Cooley has a man open in front. Panarin. Left circle, a shot, kick save, Gustafsson.
Nice save, confidence builder.
Urov right side now after he didn't get it out along the left wing wall moments ago. Just trying to stay with it. Urov, help there from Tarasenko. Now Brodin freeing it up for Tarasenko. He'll go rink wide off the left wing boards. Faber settles down the rolling puck. Pushing and shoving here between Tarasenko and a Rangers player well away from things. We have a penalty call coming. It's going to be on the Rangers, I think.
I believe you're right. The referee pointing that way. Here's the call.
New York minor penalty, 50, roughing.
So Will Cooley, who was third in the NHL in hits last season, the 23-year-old, goes to the box. That's not a good penalty.
No, it is not. Well away from the play also. You got to be a little bit smarter than that. But Minnesota is back in there's been 3 power plays in this game, all held by Minnesota, but no reward yet.
But this would be a big time late in the period to get one and hopefully take a lead in intermission. It's a 1-1 game. Eriksson Ek, Tarasenko, Kaprizov, Buium, and Boldy for the Wild's top power play unit. Now Eriksson Ek, who won 59% of the faceoffs he took Saturday in Philadelphia. And what was his 550th career regular season game. He's thrown from the draw. Boldy, though, comes in, wins it back. Buium, a center point drive, rocketed wide. JT Miller, left wing side, finds that bouncing puck and chips it down the ice. Back to pick it up is Buium. Skates out left circle, now middle of the ice, hits his own blue line, now the center line before swerving it back. Kaprizov from his skate to his stick blade. Jammed it along for Boldy, who's in onside right wing wall. It's thrown down below the goal line for Kaprizov. Hands it back to Boldy. Boldy pressured by 2 Rangers penalty killers. Now Kaprizov trying to trickle one front of the net. It's ricocheting around. Chopped away from trouble by Borgen. Kaprizov hustled to it. Took a big hit, but forced it the way of Boldy. Boldy gives it to Kaprizov, cutting down below the goal line. Now back to Boldy, right wing wall. Once more at the goal line, Kaprizov. Tried a couple of passes, both blocked. And Zibanejad lasers it down.
Yeah, everything off to the left of the goaltender right now. Minnesota trying to get the puck to the front in that slot area, and unable to do so.
They hit the midway point of the Wild power play. Under 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. Buium dance past a couple of checks. Steve Buium deep into the offensive zone. Churns it up to the right point, Boldy. They'll switch places. Boldy at the hash marks. Feeds Buium. Buium goes right back off the dasher right side to Boldy. Has Eriksson Ek side of the cage. Now down below the goal line over the left shoulder, Shesterkin. It's Eriksson Ek back to Boldy. His pass tip, Connor Sherry will pick it up, wheel through center and find Carrick. Short-handed, Carrick firing one in front, and Gustafsson knocked it away from trouble. In transition are the Wild. Tarasenko carries along. His pass deflects. It's held in by Kaprizov at the left point. Rink wide feed. Jammed quickly in front by Eriksson Ek, and that puck ended up under a Rangers player. And he's hurt. Is it Gavrikov? Maybe catching him in the midsection, knocking the wind out of him.
Yeah, he looks like he's getting up now. It appears to be okay. I think he was just hiding the puck there, to be honest with you. But he's okay, so faceoff will stay deep in the Ranger zone. Right now the shot is 28-15 in favor of Minnesota, but it's a 1-1 game. And this second period is much closer than we saw in the first period. Minnesota really had the edge in that one.
So Gavrikov goes to the Rangers bench. Second power play unit now for Minnesota with 24 seconds left on the roughing penalty to Cooley. Hartman, Hinostroza, Johansson, Urov, and Spurgeon, with Urov stationed back at the blue line left side. He'll sprint out wide left now with the draw at the right circle from the Wild's vantage point. Hartman unable to win it back. Robertson goes off his end wall, and a chance to clear. It's squeezed by Taylor Radish out through center. Spurgeon onto the tape of Johansson with just over 90 seconds to go in the period. Johansson hits the red line right side, cranks it in. Urov checked by Borgen, picked up the puck, whistled it wide. Hustling to it, Hinostroza, power play about to expire. Hinostroza right point, down below the goal line looking for Johansson. The man advantage for Minnesota now 0 for 3. Johansson right side trying to grab a bouncing puck. Had it tipped loose and JT Miller skies it ahead. Racing back for it, Brodin just ahead of Will Cooley. It comes around to Spurgeon. Chucked up ice for Hinostroza. We try to step around Gavrikov. Gavrikov lost his stick. It's along the left wing boards in the Rangers defensive zone. As Zibanejad now carries along. Bumped Faber off any path for that loose puck as the Rangers whistle it around the boards. Centering Fox. It tips up top Gavrikov to the left circle for a drive. Hammered wide. Well wide by Panarin. It'll bounce out to center. Trenyan grabs it, rolls it in. 40 seconds to go in the period. Foligno and Zibanejad into the corner. Those two tie each other up. Loose puck grabbed by the Rangers. Adam Fox able to sky it ahead and out the center.
Yeah, good play by Fox. Didn't have any speed there. Just want to get it out of the zone.
Wild in early. They've got to change here, or rather clear the zone, I should say, as the Rangers speed it down the length of the ice. No icing. Middleton gets dumped kind of awkwardly as a player fell into Middleton, and that sent him crumpling down. He's Getting up hobbled is Middleton. Here's Soucy with a shot. Shoulder saved by Gustafson. Middleton is in a lot of pain out there, Tom.
Yeah, you can tell right now. He's staying with it. And the first reaction of the player is keep that going, keep going. And you can worry about the injury after the whistle goes or you get to the bench.
He is very gingerly skating off now, Jake Middleton. It was, to give you another sports analogy, like when a lineman gets rolled up on in football, he was battling in the corner and a player lost his edge or whatever happened in that corner, went sliding into Middleton. He had no way to brace himself, and let's hope he's okay, given the fact the Wild were already without Zach Bogosian in this hockey game along the blue line. So we're through 2 periods of play from Madison Square Garden. It's a 1-1 game, both goals, one for each side, coming back in the first period. We hope to have Ryan Hartman join Tom Reed here momentarily from MSG. Plus, Kevin Fonas will have a recap of all the action so far. It's 1-1 after 40. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong. Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan. And
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group. And I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change. And we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more, covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
For Saturday's home game when the Wild return to St. Paul, hopefully victorious, to host the Utah Mammoth. Great seats available for that one and all Minnesota Wild home games at wild.com/tickets. Let's go through some of the highlights from the first 2 periods. Go back to the first. We knew coming into this one, the Rangers would be anxious to get on the board. They've gone through 3 home games thus far to open up the season, and they not only lost all 3 of those games, they hadn't scored a goal. 180 minutes of no goals scored by the Rangers on their home ice. That changed in a hurry tonight.
Well, Morgan sent a shot through, and now the Rangers score. Artemi Panarin wide open in front. He had 4 points Saturday, and the Rangers finally get their first goal at home as he beats Gustafsson glove side. Not a good start for Minnesota, 57 seconds in.
Yeah, officially it'll be Artemi Panarin from Zibanejad and Cully. Turnover behind Gustafsson, and in a blink, it's a one-timer from the slot for Panarin. Makes it 1-0, but again, the Wild playing some very good hockey in that first period in particular. All over the Rangers, especially, things are going well when Jonas Brodin gets on the board.
Here's a chance for Brodin, left side, he scores! Jonas Brodin, for the second straight game, is on the score sheet for the Wild. He had a helper Saturday, he's got his first goal of the season here, and Minnesota needing some offense from their blue line, gets just that, with 5:10 going by in the first to tie this game at 1.
Jularksnek wins the faceoff, gets it to Boldy, who shovels it off to Jonas Brodin. He wrists it from the left circle and beats Shesterkin. Things are going well when Jonas Brodin gets on the board, his first of the year, and first since New Year's Eve of 2024. Only 27 games. He missed some time last year, but it had been a while since Jonas Brodin found the back of the net. He does so tonight. Boldy and Eck will get the assist. 1-1 is your score there. Midway through the period, Vinny Hinostroza knocks one in behind Shesterkin. They wave it off immediately for a high stick, but the Wild buzzing at that point, out shooting the Rangers 12-2 when the Hinostroza goals waved off, and on the period, they had 17 shots compared to 16 in the entire game on Saturday against the Flyers. Still, your score is 1-1 after one. A little more even in the second. Each team had 11 shots on goal, but it's the Wild that's still playing some very good hockey right now. 27 saves so far for Igor Shesterkin, 16 for Philip Gustafsson. 1-1 is your score after 2 periods of play. Quickly out to Madison Square Garden. Tom Reed with number 38.
Well, back here after 2 periods of play, it's still a 1-1 game here. These two teams tied up at 1 apiece, and right now downstairs is Ryan Hartman of the Wild. And I guess, first of all, Ryan, when you look at Minnesota in that first period, you guys were flying in that. Whatever was said in that dressing room certainly got through to you guys.
Just trying to play our style, how we know we can play, having teams in offensively, and, being more aggressive along the blue lines and keeping pucks in their zone. And it's a lot easier to play offense and not having to play so much defense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, I know you guys look at the schedule right now. You look at what's happened in the past, but you can't dwell on that. Right now, your goal, obviously, is to get some of the victories on the road and get the confidence that you need to win those games.
We thought we played a good game in Philadelphia, but puck didn't go in for us. I think we're playing a really good game tonight. We're taking it one game at a time. Obviously, we've played 6 games this year. It's a long season, and obviously we're building our character and who we are as a team. And I think the first period tonight was a good show of that.
Yeah, and I look at your progress also, what you've made last year. I mean, you had some issues last year, but this year you seem to be much more composed on the ice. You're not taking any penalties unless they're necessary penalties, which sometimes you have to take.
Just trying to play the right way, play hard. Help this team offensively, and obviously, face-off dots and kind of all around on the ice. And obviously, when the pucks start going in, that'll be a big help for our lineup.
Yeah, 12th year now in the league, 6th with Minnesota, and I've said before that your passing ability has been so good this year. Watching you make those plays, you're able to filter that puck through a lot of traffic to get to your teammate on the far side.
Obviously, I usually shoot the puck more than I pass, but when there are options, sometimes the better play is hard to pass up, especially if there's a clear lane. But I'm a shoot first type of guy.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it going. Thanks, Ryan, for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin, Ryan Hartman, our guest up here. Let's go back to you.
Thank you, Tom, for joining us in the intermission. Ryan Hartman gets a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Quick break, and then we got Tom Reed's hotline. Text us now, 64686. You can see the Wild and Mammoth Saturday night. That's next. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
Will this be one of the most memorable Game 7s ever? MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM 89 is live from Toronto right now with the ALCS Game 7 pregame between the Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners. then the play-by-play. MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here. Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from most.
Dynasties are
Madrid 2 what day? Two best.
and history is made.
For Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know because he made it very clear in his comments. I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor.
father, son to father. Backhand shot. They score! Number 9, Father Howe. And they're going to give him a standing ovation here in the Montreal Forum. A tremendous tribute to one of the most amazing athletes in any sport.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Madison Square Garden on a Monday night. The Rangers and the Minnesota Wild. The Rangers looking for their first home victory. They finally got off the schneid at home. They got their first home goal just 57 seconds into this hockey game. Minnesota responded with the first period goal of their own. All the scoring in the first 5 minutes and 10 seconds of this game. And we are tied 1-1 through 2 periods of play. Alex Faust, Dave Starman here with you, moments away from the start of the third period. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Third period puck drop brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Well, Dave, third period, Rangers find themselves in a familiar spot in a tight game. Goals hard to come by here at home. They've been on their heels a good chunk of this game, but second period, you pointed out, they're starting to play their way into it.
I thought in the second period they established a little bit more momentum. It wasn't consistent over, let's say, 4 or 5 minutes of time, but they're able to put together a back-to-back shift here, a back-to-back shift there. They're able to threaten the net a little bit more, get a couple more shots on goal. Minnesota has blocked a bucket load of shots. They've blocked 11 shots tonight. Rangers have had some good looks, and between the goaltender and Minnesota's team defense, that has stymied the Rangers. The Minnesota defense has been quick and jumping in the lanes with regularity.
The Rangers actually out-attempted the Wild at 5-on-5 in the second period. Underway in the third. Minnesota wins the face-off, carries the puck into the attacking zone. Rangers defending to our right, and they'll sort it out along the near boards with JT Miller collecting the puck, hoisting it in on the backhand. Pursuing is Alexis Lafreniere along with Connor Sherry, looking to start a forecheck. Lifted out by Jonas Brodin. A fresh sheet of ice, and that means this puck will go all the way down for an icing against the Wild. 28 seconds into the third.
The great thing that the Rangers have going for them is they've got two goalies that in games like this, they know they can rely on the goalie to make a big save for them. Like, there are a lot of games, a lot of teams in this league where you get into a tight game like this, you know it's not going to stay tight for long. Other teams are going to figure out ways to score, but between Shesterkin and Quick, the Rangers are in every game.
Zibanejad wins a face-off. Fox, right side, tosses one to the middle. Will Cooley looked like he got clipped with a high stick. He was asking for a penalty, none given. Hard rim to the far boards. Cooley picks it up, darts behind the net. Cooley turns and shoots off the leg of Faber. Cooley, another attempt from the left circle. Gustafson saw that the whole way. Might have been going wide. Try to pick it up behind the net. Battle ensues. Cooley against Faber. Cooley hits the deck. Look to stuff it in on goal. Gustafson holding that post firmly. 57 seconds in and a face-off to come.
It's interesting. The other night when Minnesota lost in Philadelphia, one of the goals that got scored was because the goaltender could not hold the post. That was Wallstad. He missed locking his toes to the post, and a puck just snuck through with about 6 inches of room. So big stop by Minnesota here, getting that little problem corrected. And for my opinion, for Cooley, best shift of the game for him.
Rangers win a face-off. Activating his Borgen down the right boards. Cuts to the middle. Pull and drag. He hit a stick in front. And the Wild will chip it out. Foligno on his horse on left wing. Robertson meets him step for step. Tracking back. Minnesota able to take the puck back. Zeev Bouillon from the blue line. Tosses one to the left wing corner. Foligno got cleared out from the Rangers' goal crease. And the Rangers will skate it out. Carrick carries it in over the line. Minnesota stripped it, cleared it. Carrick got it back, gloved it down, shoveled it to the front. Rempe point blank denied. Gustafson was there as Soucy picks it up. Feeds Edstrom. Saved by Gustafson. And a wraparound chance for Soucy. Stopped on the opposite side. Rangers with a couple of good looks to begin this third period. Gustafson up to the task.
Great stop by Gustafson on one. The beauty of Rempe in front of the net, he is so big, he makes goaltenders have to adjust to him. The negative of Rempe in front of the net is he is so big, it's hard to put a puck on goal because he takes up a lot of space as well. And on that second shot, the puck actually hit Rempe instead of hitting the goalie, but Rempe had a chance right before that. Bouillon made a really good play to grab the puck out of the air. He literally threw it out of the zone. Rangers picked it up and turned it back around.
Rangers go back to the Zibanejad line, perhaps shortening the bench here in the third period. Zibanejad, Panarin, and Cooley with Gavrikov and Fox at the blue line. Hartman wins out against Zibanejad. Out of the corner, turnover. Cooley missed short side after he picked up a loose puck. Back out to the neutral zone. Rangers have to tag up. Juracek feeds it ahead. Johansson dumps it in on his backhand. Gavrikov in pursuit against Urov. And in the near corner, it's Johansson, separated from the puck by Zibanejad. Sturdy play from the Rangers center. Hard around from Panarin, chip far boards, out of the reach of Zibanejad. Step up by Gavrikov, kept the zone. A pass from Panarin to a streaking Zibanejad down the middle, ricochet to the corner. Fox, well below the goal line, tried to twirl one to the right circle for Zibanejad. It's picked off and cleared out. And it hit a glove on the Minnesota bench.
I've really liked Gavrikov's game tonight. His defensive stick's been really good. His offensive stick's been good. He's made a lot of little plays that have created some offense and held some pucks in. His feet have been really good. This is one of those games for Gavrikov that as you're getting used to a new team and settling in, sometimes it can take you 10 to 15 games, but this is one that you could bank some points for yourself in terms of starting to feel better, starting to assimilate within the group.
Picked up his first point as a Ranger on Saturday, Gavrikov. Rangers have a face-off in the attacking zone. 17:23 on the third period clock. Rangers and Wild tied 1-1. Minnesota wins a D-zone draw. Lafreniere pursues against Juracek, but Juracek held on to the puck, and it's airmailed back to the Rangers zone. Under the skate of Robertson, but Shesterkin confidently plays it out of the corner, turned over, and a good recovery by Robertson to swat the puck away from the middle. Here comes JT Miller, fighting through the stick work of Johansson. In over the Minnesota line. Centers for the trailing Borgen. Now to Sherry. On the backhand, a big save with a right pad by Gustafsson. But a penalty on Minnesota. And for the first time tonight, the Rangers will have a power play.
Oh, what a great play by the Rangers coming up ice. They came up with steam, and they almost got one.
Minnesota penalty number 5. He's got a 2-minute minor for hooking.
I mean, the Rangers came up like their feet were on fire. Really good rush to the net. Lafreniere got good positioning in front of the net. Sheary with a great chance. Rangers move the puck from one side to the other, back across the Royal Road to the right, and a big save with the left pad by Gustafsson.
Power play for the Rangers. They nearly went 2 for 2 on Saturday. Tying goal against Montreal came just after a power play had expired. They finished 1 for 2. Rangers on the season haven't had too much luck with the power play. They've scored in just 2 of their first 7 games. They win the draw. Fox to Lafreniere, right side. He'll drift to a halt at the half wall. Survey, feed Miller, touch pass to Zibanejad. Had a good look, and it may have drawn iron.
That play for the Rangers, down low to the goal line, into the bumper off of one face-off on power plays, has been their bread and butter to start each power play with possession.
Carried him with speed. Lafreniere leaves it for Panarin, and now they get set up with Miller at the half wall, far side, inching into the circle, leaves it for Lafreniere, net front, double clutched. Fed it back outside for Miller. From the circle, feeds Fox up top, one-timer deflected wide. And Foligno will rifle it down ice.
Lafreniere thought about in front of the net, tucking it in tight, turning around and getting on his forehand, and I think he didn't realize how much room he actually had to play with.
Zibanejad enters with Lafreniere on left wing. Puck dribbles to the left wing corner. Bounces away from Lafreniere, and now Fox collides with Juracek. Hits the deck. Miller comes all the way back, collides with Trenyon as they'll recover possession for the Rangers, but time coming off the clock. 50 seconds left on their power play. Tied at 1 in the third period. Opening 5 minutes. Here's Lafreniere, right corner. Feeds Fox up top. Oh, he had Miller on the back door. Tried to redirect it home. Missed the target. Boldy blows a tire. Still manages to lift the puck out. Minnesota clears. Half a minute remaining on the power play for the Rangers.
What a pass by Fox. They almost had one. Rangers power play 1 generally plays the entire power play. They got a change here.
Rink wide feed. Cooley goes high and wide with his attempt. Looking glove side. Picked up by Schneider. Blue line. Leaves it for Laba. Wrist shot blocked. Karams all the way back to the blue line. Schneider, no-look feed for Sherry, left side. 10 seconds left on the power play. Sherry's pass broken up by Faber. Power play just about up. Middleton is released from the box. Minnesota has killed it off.
Rangers with a good momentum-building power play. They got a couple of great looks.
Here's Cooley. Straight line drive down the middle. Stick check by Faber. Loose puck. Gavrikov steps up to feed Cooley in the corner. Back for Gavrikov up top. Goes across. And Hartman knocks it out of the zone.
Well, might be the first mistake, stick-wise, that Gavrikov's made all night.
And now here's Kaprizov with 5 shots on goal tonight, looking for a crashing Spurgeon who's tied up with Carrick. And dumped to the ice behind the net. A hand pass is whistled against Minnesota to stop play. Shots this period, 6-0 in favor of the Rangers, aided by that power play.
Rangers did things to draw that power play that got them a couple of great chances. They went to the net, they skated, they created speed, they created a point-blank opportunity, forced them to take a penalty. The Rangers in Florida both have played 7 games. You know the Panthers' style. The Panthers have had 52 minutes and 23 seconds of power play time in 7 games. The Rangers, conversely, add that 2 minutes, are at 37:09. The Panthers do a lot of things to draw penalties. The Rangers drew a penalty with the play that they created, and they need a lot more of that. And you can see it starting to happen.
Minnesota wins the neutral ice draw. Cranked in by Bouillon around the backboards. Lead by Borgen to the far wall. Radish tied up along the half boards with Kaprizov. Jarred free. Borgen chips it away from a Minnesota stick and reverses to Robertson. He'll air it to neutral ice. Bouncing puck through the wickets on Radish. Bouillon cradles. Outlets. Minnesota looking for the hit ahead for Kaprizov of the attacking line. It bounced away. Now the Rangers will dump it back and make a change. Long pass out of the Minnesota zone. That will skirt wide of the Ranger net and become an icing against the Wild. End zone face-off to come.
The other night we saw Lane Hudson. Tonight we're seeing Zeev Bouillon all season long. You get to watch Adam Fox, 3 really high-skilled, American-born, American-trained defensemen who all can do similar things. They can play with deception. They can chase down loose pucks. They can find options when you don't think they're there. They can all defend. It's a great wave of American defensemen starring in the NHL right now. And Bouillon, to me, reminds me of Brian Leach. I've been saying it for 2 years.
Face off to the right of Gustafson. Miller loses out to Hartman, and it's cleared down ice again by Minnesota. And again, they will take the icing here. The shift length for the Wild about at a minute 10, depending on the skater.
Bouillon this morning was sitting in one of the meeting rooms outside the Minnesota locker room as they were doing video, and he's looking around the room and looking outside. He's thinking to himself, what have these walls seen since the opening of Madison Square Garden in 1968? He was just wide-eyed being in this building.
Well, he certainly has not been bashful. Been impacting the play. Rangers win another face-off. Gavrikov center point, wrist shot knocked down, loose puck, Sherry jamming for it. Gustafson hops on top. Much needed whistle for Minnesota. The Rangers had them on their heels for a couple of shifts, but we reach a stoppage in play. Rangers hockey on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. We'll step aside here at the Garden. Still a 1-1 game between the Rangers and the Minnesota Wild. New York Rangers hockey on ESPN New York, and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
London Jewelers presents their annual watch fair at the Americana Manhasset, Friday, October 24th through Sunday, October 26th from noon to 5 p.m. Experience the latest collections of distinctive timepieces from the world's most prestigious watch brands. From selection to service, London Jewelers is a trusted, authorized retailer for the world's finest watch brands. Join us at the London Jewelers Annual Watch Fair at the Americana Manhasset, Friday, October 24th through Sunday, October 26th. London Jewelers since 1926.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter.
with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2026 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or 2026 HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Back here at the Garden, 13:26 to go in the third period. Rangers and Wild tied 1-1. Alex Faust, Dave Starman here with you. Another tight one for the Rangers down the stretch here.
I think they've gained traction as the third period's gone on. They have threatened the net with a lot more consistency. They're not playing with desperation, but they're playing with urgency. And they've been able to pin Minnesota now in their own zone. Now the Rangers starting to win the low ice. Now the Rangers starting to do better at winning the half walls, and they're starting to get some great A's and second kicks at the can.
Remember Saturday night, the Rangers were down early, played their way into the game. Tonight they had the early edge. Minnesota fought back, controlled the first period, and the Rangers have been good as the game's gone along. Eriksson Ek chips the puck in. Really tried to bat it out of midair to swat it in under the crossbar. Rangers push it back to the red line. Rifled in by Gavrikov. Around the boards it goes. Miller cuts it off. Feeds Lafreniere. Far half wall. Rotated this way. Gavrikov shoots to the middle. Drives down Broadway and lost the handle. Kaprizov to carry it out. Boldy with him on his flank. Back check from Sherry. Played across to a trailing Middleton. Cut off. End to end we go. Miller into the attacking zone. Stood up by Eriksson Ek. Fox tried to recover the puck. It's played by Kaprizov in the neutral zone. And he'll send one airborne, knocked down by Fox at the blue line. Rangers re-enter the attacking zone. Panarin starts off the wall, circles back, opens, goes between his legs on the dangle. Panarin scans, surveys, drifts back to the blue line, and his pass east-west, knocked out of the zone by Boldy.
He skated himself into an area where he had no margin of error.
His attempt to get the puck deep hits a skate. Zibanejad wipes out in pursuit, and Minnesota has room to operate.
5 feet inside and outside each blue line are what we call the gray zone. And every time you put the puck in the gray zone, if you don't have a play, it's got to go deep. He made a high-risk play that almost turned around on him.
Morgan banks it ahead. He has Rempe, but the Rangers are offside. We get a whistle. There might be too many men.
Not sure what the official is signaling here, but the Rangers had a meeting going on towards their bench. The officials pointed towards the bench.
Yeah, the initial signal was for an offside, but you know what? It was probably an intentional offside, given that Edstrom had a step into the attacking zone, so not too many men. And the Rangers were in the middle of a change. That's what had me worried about it. 11:53 to go, third period. Rangers and Wild tied 1-1. They'll have a D-zone draw after the intentional offside, or at least what the referees deemed intentional. Wild controlled the draw. Johansson circles around Soucy. Wraparound chance underneath Shesterkin. And in. Minnesota scores on a wraparound goal to take a 2-1 lead here in the third. Mike Sullivan fired up on the Ranger bench about the call moments prior that put the puck in the defensive zone for a face-off.
Yeah, he is on an absolute tear. Getting in the kitchen of the officials as Minnesota takes a 2-1 lead on the offensive zone draw. Off the draw, they scramble it behind, then they go to work. They're able to get the puck down low on the left wing side. Really good rush to the net by Johansson. Threw it to the front. It just laid there. And while it was laying there, Hurov was able to tap it home to give Minnesota a 2-1 lead. But a really good rush to the net by Johansson, who now picks up his 27th point in his 40th game against the Rangers.
Credit to Danila Yurov on the goal, poking home the loose puck underneath Shesterkin, his countryman. It is his first career goal in the National Hockey League. The former 24th overall pick for the Wild in 2022, his first season in North America. So we're looking back at a replay here to check what the stoppage was for. And the initial signal that we got may have been for high stick based on a replay. We'll have to go back and Take a look once again. But certainly some confusion.
Might have hit a Ranger stick on the bench. That's what I'm thinking. If it did, that's why the faceoff comes inside.
True. So a battle ensues at the half wall near side. Yakov Trenyan moves it across out of the reach of Ben Jones and sent back around the boards by the Rangers to keep possession. Robertson activates below the goal line, feeds Parson into the circle, and Borgen blocked from Jones, who winces in pain. Lava in the corner with Bouillon pinning the puck to the kick plate. Jarred free by Borgen. They'll reach for it into the skates of Bouillon. But by that time, Minnesota had attempted a clear, knocked down by Parson. Beautifully done, denying at the very least an exit from Minnesota. And they'll have to make a line change.
Allowed the Rangers to reload. Parson's play on the right wing side on the wall, knocking that puck out of midair. Gave the Rangers all the time they needed to change, get the neutral zone structured, and they caused a turnover because of it.
Offside here against Minnesota.
A moment ago, Connor Sheary had a really good shift. Offensive zone had a chance. Defensive zone tracked back, broke up a play, and I talked to him a lot this morning. And when you talk about being undersized, because I try to play one game in the NHL, I've gotten a 600. I'm thrilled beyond belief. And I brought up the size component. And he said, when you learn how to use your size and lack of it to your advantage, by being able to play underneath people, it really helps. He goes, once I learned how to do that, use my feet, it raised my level of effectiveness at the NHL level.
Rangers send it around the boards in the attacking zone, 2 hour left. Now trailing 2-1 after what we understand to be a puck that hit a glove or a stick on the Ranger bench, led to an end zone faceoff. And a wraparound goal for Minnesota. Pass from JT Miller goes awry, intended for Gavrikov, and all the way back to the Rangers zone.
And you can see Miller talking to himself the whole way back to the bench about where he put that puck.
Here's Zibanejad over the red line. Faber denies the dump in, knocks the puck back to the Rangers zone. Soucy and Fox reset. Carson Soucy up the left wing, or up the right wing, I should say, for Zibanejad. He feeds Panarin on entry, left side. Panarin sneaks a wrist shot wide, glove side. Off the bench, Schneider pinches, feeds Panarin, centering pass, Zibanejad denied. Point blank save by Gustafsson. My goodness.
What a play by the Rangers. Panarin, all kinds of dangles, and Zibanejad with another great look, and he is robbed.
Philip Gustafsson with a save of the game for Minnesota, and the Wild hold a 2-1 lead with 9:26 to go in the third. You're listening to Rangers Hockey on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This is Bruce Murray from the SiriusXM Blitz. The trade deadline is approaching. Will your team make a move to put themselves over the top? And Aaron Rodgers faces the team that drafted him for the first time as the Steelers face the Packers on Sunday Night Football.
Rodgers wants to go to Metcalf, has him in the end zone, touchdown!
Plus, we're taking your calls and breaking down the slate in Week 8.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app. Historic hockey moments on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
New Year's Day, January 1st, 2008, at the home of the NFL's Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson Stadium.
The Pittsburgh Penguins and Buffalo Sabres are set to play despite the snow that's been falling all morning, and more than 73,000 are here to witness it. In the game they're calling the Winter Classic. Penguins win! Snow flying in their faces as they celebrate.
Never miss a moment on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. Historic hockey moments on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
April 14th, 2010, the Philadelphia Flyers join an exclusive club, the Hard Way.
History made in Boston tonight. The Flyers defeat the Bruins 4-3. They are the third team in NHL history to come from behind after trailing a series 3-0.
The hockey history continues. Never miss a moment on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Just looking at replays here, Alex Faust, Dave Starman with you. 9:26 remaining at the Garden. Minnesota leads the Rangers 2-1. That glove save from Philip Gustafsson on Mika Zibanejad, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and give Gustafsson credit because he was a little behind the play. He came across, he came from his right post with a good push-off, The glove was just above his left pad, but he had it in a spot that was taking up space. Zibanejad put it right into his glove, but the goaltender Gustafsson put his glove exactly where it should have been and invited Zibanejad to try to go higher, and he couldn't.
Rangers with an end zone face-off to the left of Gustafsson. Miller wins it initially, swats it to the boards. Minnesota controls, and they clear. Kaprizov steps up through center, flips it to the middle. Eriksson Ek dealing with not only Fox on the back check, but a poke attempt from Shesterkin. Forces the puck to the backboards. Hard around for the Wild. Brodin half wall near side to Kaprizov. Blue line. Faber breaks his stick on a one-timer. Puck comes to the near boards. Sherry, knocked down, does the job. And it's outlet back to the red line. Lafreniere is on it. And Fox will start from his blue line as the Rangers complete a change. They'll crank it in around the boards. Kaprizov this way. Panarin tried to check him off the puck. And a headman pass. You know what? He did enough because he forced a hurried pass. It's an icing against Minnesota.
On that shift, Gavrikov and Fox and Gavrikov are trying to get off the ice. Fox drilled one in and headed towards the bench. Gavrikov, being a left defenseman, got caught. Robertson came on. They switched places, which obviously is the smart play by Gavrikov. Then, being where Gavrikov was, he actually helped force the icing.
And after that icing, now it's Brodin who's caught with a long shift. A minute 21. 8:39 to go, third period. Rangers trail 2-1. Zibanejad on the faceoff against the goal scorer for Minnesota, Danila Yurov, stepping in to take the faceoff. And the Rangers lose out. Glove down on a clearing attempt by Borgen. Loose puck up for grabs, and Yurov just shovels it into his bench for a stoppage.
Minnesota get a chance to change here if they need to. They couldn't change off the last one. They get a couple of tired bodies off the ice. And just remember, as the period goes on and the ice gets bad, those longer shifts get a little longer. Fresh ice, a little bit easier to skate on. Once the ice starts to get choppy and chippy, skating those longer shifts takes a lot more effort. That's the beauty of being a goalie.
Gustafsson and Shesterkin both have had to work quite a bit here today. Shesterkin stopping 28 out of the 30 shots from Minnesota. Gustafsson with some high-quality saves here in the third. Rangers have outshot the Wild in the third period. Board battle in the corner. Fox wins out against Tarasenko. Rangers clear off a stick, lands in the neutral zone, picked up by Cooley. Knocked into by Middleton. Loose puck. Zibanejad in the corner, unable to flip it to the net front. Soucy pinches left side, guides it around the boards to an activating Schneider opposite wing.
Rangers defenseman, a lot of deep dives here.
Panarin feeds the back. Soucy walks the line, goes D. Schneider, wrist shot, swallowed up by Gustafsson.
And what you've seen over the last, let's say, 8 minutes or so, the Rangers defensemen, even when it was still tied 1-1, on the weak side, or starting the weak side being the side of the ice where the puck is not, they're starting to creep in a little bit, so they're playing 4 below the tops of the circles as opposed to 3 low and 2 high. Try to create some coverage options and potentially try to create something backdoor.
Noah Labo took a puck to the face earlier, wearing a full cage out there, loses out of the faceoff in the attacking zone. Minnesota clears to the Ranger line, no further. Soucy tried a quick up. It was intercepted. And now a clearing attempt for the Rangers goes awry. Jones puts it right on. Shouldered away by Shesterkin. They hack and whack at the side of the net, and Shesterkin freezes the puck as sticks and gloves come up.
It was a really good play by defenseman Carson Soucy of the Rangers. Off the deflection in front of the net, and the save by Shesterkin. He blocked it off to his right. Then the puck dribbled back towards the front. Schneider got clobbered. I mean, absolutely clobbered by Pitlick from behind. But Soucy kept his cool, and as that puck started bouncing around, he just gently pucked it to the pad of Shesterkin as opposed to trying to make a play.
Face off to the right of Shesterkin. 7:27 to go in the third. Rangers trailing 2-1. Minnesota trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Rangers looking for their first win of the season at home. Minnesota controls the draw. Middleton for the left point. Hard around. Jumps the stick of Pitlick behind the Ranger net, and Minnesota attempts to re-enter after the puck had left the zone. It's an offside.
Well, over the course of the last couple of games, you've seen Rangers defensemen just make some very mature individual plays. Borgen the other night in Montreal, if you remember, there was a loose puck in the third period by the Ranger net. Instead of panicking with it, he chopped at it with puck in skates. He held on to it, moved it a little bit, and then was able to come out. Sushi, the play we saw just now. Schneider had a couple in Montreal and one in Toronto where loose pucks, bouncing, bobbling, didn't panic, kept it in front of him, and were able to make safe plays. Nice to know that your Ds aren't going to panic under pressure with the puck.
Well, even in games the Rangers haven't lost their defensive shape for the most part. Minnesota will take the puck to their zone.
And you can see in the defensive zone, I mean, they're constantly, it's called retreating to dice. And if you know what a 5 on a dice looks like, I think the Rangers tend to look like in their own zone.
Perimeter shot blocked by the Rangers. Trenyon near boards, stripped by Susi. And that'll begin the breakout with Radish. Rangers in need of a change. They'll make one on the fly. Carrick, shot in transition, blocked by Spurgeon. Picked up by Jiricek, steered up the far wall back to the red line. Carrick will come off to complete the change. Sent in by Gavrikov. Slowly back behind the Minnesota net. Gets picked up by Pitlick. Hard around, cut off by Lafreniere. Feeding Miller. Will then fan on the reverse. Gavrikov pinches. Slows down the clearing attempt. Sherry and Lafreniere combine to bat the puck into the near corner. Sherry with room. Rims it to the point, and Fox right side. Gavrikov in the middle. On for Miller. Rink-wide pass through Gavrikov. Picked up by Sherry. Good zone time here for the Rangers. Fox leaves it for Miller. Back across. A play to the middle. Broken up by Spurgeon. Laying down in the goal crease for Minnesota. Breaks up a pass that could have led to a tap-in goal.
Spurgeon with a great defensive stick. Read it. The crowd was hoping Miller was going to shoot. He didn't have a lane. And he almost set up Sherry for a big-time goal.
5:55 remaining at Madison Square Garden. Rangers trail the Minnesota Wild 2-1. New York Rangers hockey on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Face-Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face-Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face-Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Experience the sophisticated taste of the best single malt whiskey in the world, the Macallan, founded in 1824. The Macallan is renowned worldwide for its extraordinary single malt whiskeys. Their outstanding quality and distinctive character reveal the uncompromised excellence they pursue. Whether your taste is sherry oak or double cask, the Macallan single malt whiskey is for you. Pick up the Macallan today at your nearest liquor store. The Macallan, the single malt whiskey against which all others must be judged. Crafted without compromise. Please savor the Macallan responsibly.
London Jewelers presents their annual watch fair at the Americana Manhasset, Friday, October 24th through Sunday, October 26th from noon to 5 p.m. Experience the latest collections of distinctive timepieces from the world's most prestigious watch brands. From selection to service, London Jewelers is a trusted, authorized retailer for the world's finest watch brands. Join us at the London Jewelers Annual Watch Fair at the Americana Manhasset, Friday, October 24th through Sunday, October 26th. London Jewelers since 1926.
Back here at the Garden, Alex Faust, Dave Starman with you. Hockey season is the perfect time to replace your old boiler with a new Peerless boiler. Don't wait until you have no heat. Go to PeerlessBoilers.com for a dealer near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boiler. 5:55 to go. Rangers trailing 2-1.
Rangers late change on this faceoff. They came out with Zibanejad as a line, then they changed it up. Miller, Zibanejad, Fox, Panarin, Gavrikov.
More of an offensive look from the forwards, looking for a tying goal.
Fox is on the left wing half wall. Panarin is set up in the defensive spot on top of the circle to the left side.
Gavrikov will retreat back to center, and the men will take their positions after the Rangers lose the draw, but they'll get another opportunity. Minnesota ices it.
The nice part about that play is that the defenseman on the wall, you get a pair of sure hands there, plus Fox on his offside. If there's a scramble behind the center, he's coming across on his forehand. The negative is if the defending team wins the draw and they push it back, Fox is not going to go forecheck. He's got to wait for Panarin to come up. He goes back. You don't get a ton of pressure off the lost draw.
And then you've got Gavrikov on his offside as well.
Yep.
So they'll do this face-off again. Same alignment. Gavrikov a trigger man. The lefty shot. Top of the right circle. This face-off takes place in the left circle near dot.
Look at Eriksson Ek cheating. He's got his right skate behind the linesman.
Rangers win it back anyway. Panarin glides. Fires one wide of the target. Rangers get it back. Fox, blue line, kicked out by Gustafsson off the perimeter shot. And the Wild clear. Pick up for the Rangers. Unable to connect on target. The Rangers will get it back. Panarin with the intercept through center. Walks in, 1 against 4. Swings that one wide of the target. Panarin picks it up out of the corner. Lefty shot. Gavrikov able to hold the zone on his offside. Feeding JT Miller a long pass to the perimeter. That one jumps the stick of Fox manning the left point.
They had both defensemen on their off wings with the potential of a one-timer up top.
Now here's Fox. Red line. Shielding. Dangling Trenyon. Rangers make a change. Edstrom and Carey in right side. Hard around. Rempe pursues. Throttles Spurgeon, who does enough to force the puck out of the zone.
That's 6'7" against 5'9". And a good job by Spurgeon to hold his ground.
Hard rim. Robertson left side. Rolls it back behind Carrick. Centers. Rempe put it just wide. He was tied up at the top of the blue paint.
Oh, what a pass by Carrick.
Tarasenko shields from Edstrom behind the net. Moves it up the far boards. Not out. Kept by Rempe. Goes across. Collected off the wall. Robertson. One-timer into skates. And sprawling out to cover is Gustafsson.
Another really good shift by Carrick, Rempe, and Edstrom. They got a couple of really good looks. Carrick with a couple of great passes as he maneuvered himself around the offensive zone. Rempe went to the net. He had a chance, and they put one through a screen towards the end. It just hit some skates, and Edstrom got boxed out and didn't get a really good second look at it. But Rempe, Edstrom, vesting in front of the net. Carrick was just an absolute beast on that last shift.
Well, that's been the most consistent line for the Rangers this season. There's no doubt.
They do give you some offensive ability. They give you great defensive ability. They're a beast to handle on the forecheck. And when one of those two, Rempe or Edstrom, gets set up in front of the net, they force goalies out of structure because goalies who like to look over screens now have to look around them because you can't look over Rempe, you can't look over Edstrom.
It's Miller, Sherry, and Lafreniere. So a double shift here for Miller, who wins the faceoff. Lafreniere, the trigger man, top of the circle, blocked out of the zone by Boldy. Shesterkin out to the hashes to handle the puck with 4:15 to go. And Borgen will start the rush. Lafreniere over the red line. High lift, cross corner, out of play. Tried to just have that catch the top of the tall glass. And so the faceoff will come back to the neutral zone.
Rangers have gotten some chances here, and once again, the thing that you really like, especially if you're David Quinn who runs the defense, are how well the D's from the point have gotten shots to the paint. Not necessarily everyone's been on goal, but they're getting shots in areas where, as Mike Sullivan wants to create broken plays. And that's a building block towards later success, the fact that they've been able to do it and establish that part of their game for the blue line.
Face off right at the center ice dot. The Rangers out shooting the Wild 7-4 in this third period. Maybe the most important number is 4 for Minnesota. They had 16 in the first, 11 in the second. Rangers control possession from the neutral zone. Miller to Fox. So scooted ahead on right wing. Didn't get a lot on it. Panarin will have to pursue on the Rangers forecheck. Minnesota sorts it out defensively. Puck moved to the near boards. Foligno plays it cross ice. Nobody home. Chopped out by Middleton.
Foligno, by the way, is the great-grandnephew of recently deceased Ranger legendary goaltender Eddie Giacomin.
Zibanejad leaving it for Panarin. Of course, the Rangers wearing a sticker on the back of their helmets as we have a whistle here with 3:23 to go, honoring the late, great Eddie Giacomin.
And Foligno, for games against New York and games against Detroit, was also wearing the same sticker.
Wow, that's awesome.
Eddie Giacomin, such a huge presence for the Rangers through the 1970s. When you think about the Rangers goaltender, think about some of the legends that they have had, but from the early 70s, looking at Jockerman to Davidson to Van Beesbrook to Richter to Lundqvist to Shesterkin. I mean, that's a riches of great goalies.
Well, Shesterkin has done his part tonight. 29 saves on 31 shots. The Wild dump the puck into the Rangers zone. Braden Schneider, poke checked. Robertson able to recover it back behind the net. And moving it up the near boards, Cooley. Swatted ahead by Carrick. Is getting another turn here at center. Carrick and Sherry battle for the puck. 2:53 to go. Move behind the net. Cooley to Sherry. Out high for Robertson. Robertson pulls the trigger. Tip. Blocked by Faber. Cooley had his stick down for the redirect. Here's Carrick centering. Robertson off the outside of the goal. Picked up by Sherry. Bill center looking for Carrick. Knocked out by Tarasenko.
Been incredibly impressed with the Wild and where their defensive sticks are anytime the puck gets low. They have eliminated a lot of chances from below the goal line to net front just with good sticks.
Forwards and deep. Dumped in by the Rangers. Parson and Rempe, Edstrom over the boards. Pushed out of the zone by Minnesota. 2-on-1. Eriksson Ek and Boldy. Eriksson Ek, cross ice pass. Rescuing that puck was Rempe on his horse to get back to defend. It hit both the stick of Edstrom and Rempe, it appeared, as both were hustling back.
And then as it rolled towards the net, Shesterkin on one knee managed to swat it almost as a one-timer towards the right wing side and out of the zone. And here comes Shesterkin.
Minute 52 to go. Shesterkin out of his net. He'll go back in. He had started towards the bench. He goes back into his net. And a pass across from Boldy aiming for Kaprizov. Wouldn't hit him. Now Shesterkin back to the bench. Lafreniere ties up with Hartman at the attacking line. Kaprizov picks up the puck. Flings it down ice from 150 feet and hits the target. A minute 36 to go. An empty net goal for Kirill Kaprizov. And it's 3-1 Minnesota.
It's just imperative that as soon as you get the goalie out, either you gain the line with possession or you get the puck deep, allowing your goalie to get out and you to get in structure so you can keep the game in front of you. And the Rangers got bottled up at the offensive blue line. The puck came to Lafreniere. He tried to get it through. Hartman was in his way. The puck dribbled to Kaprizov, who nailed it from just inside the Minnesota blue line.
For Kaprizov, that's his 5th goal of the season, which is now tied for 6th most in the NHL. It comes on his 6th shot on goal. And the Rangers' troubles with goal scoring at home continue. Shesterkin to the bench for an extra attacker once again. A minute 22 to go. This game not done as a shot is deflected wide of the net. Lafreniere puts it on goal from below the goal line. Gustafsson ready for it. Fox, center point, leaves it for Cooley, side of the net, try to redirect it home. Swatted away from Lafreniere below the goal line. Fox keeps the zone, dives to keep it alive a second time. Bouncing puck, Foligno knocks it free, dribbles towards the empty net. Panarin dives to bat it away. Hustle play from Panarin in the final minute. JT Miller unable to gain the line. Minnesota defending their blue line extremely well here in the final moments as they launch it again towards the empty net, and it's deflected over top. Fox to pick it up, 39 seconds. Sherry will move it up ice, gain the red line, try to wire it in. Blocked down by Spurgeon, dribbling to the corner. Middleton behind the Minnesota net. Beats Trenyon, kept alive by Schneider. Now Zibanejad tosses a pass to Miller. Touch pass aiming for a crashing Schneider in between the circles. The Wild get to that. They feed it all the way down. And it'll be no icing. Waved off here in the final couple moments. And time will tick off the clock here at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers will still be winless here at the Garden to begin this season. 0-4 at home. 3-0-1 on the road. And what's been a strange start to this year, the goal scoring again coming at a premium. They finally break through and get their first, but it's not enough in a game where they were outshot most of the way by the Wild, and Minnesota wins this one 3-1.
It's a huge win for Minnesota, who had a really rocky start to this road trip. And for the Rangers, They got one early, couldn't get the next one. The story of the game to me for Minnesota was how well they defended inside the paint, how well they decided inside the hard areas, great defensive sticks. They broke up a ton. The Rangers came out with a ton of energy early. Minnesota literally took it away from them. And for the Rangers, there was effort. There was opportunity, but there wasn't enough of it, and it wasn't consistent enough. And to me, if you're the coaching staff, that's the thing you're going to see as you're reviewing this film, is that they did have some nice looks as the game went on, but there was not enough of it on a consistent basis for Minnesota to ever have to do anything to stem the tide.
Rangers dropped this one by a score of 3-1 here at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers next in action Thursday night against the San Jose Sharks. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop, and we'll be on the air with the pregame show at 6:30. 3-1 the final here at the Garden. The Wild defeat the Rangers. Dan Grosso on the way with our postgame show right after this. You're listening to Rangers.